Chapter 1674. While everyone was panicking, a huge palm formed in the air, emitting a breathtaking aura. After the huge palm was formed, it came crashing down on Wu Fong and the others. Under the cover of the huge palm, Wu Fong and the others seemed to be imprisoned. They couldn't even dodge or escape. Then, everyone saw Wu Fong and the others being slammed into the ground by the huge palm. Boom, a loud sound was heard. Then, a sandstorm rose from the ground and swallowed Wu Fong and the others, making it impossible for them to see the scene on the ground clearly. Seeing such a scene, Fong Xian was so frightened that his face trembled. He stared at Mo Qingyun with wide eyes and said, "You can't have a Grand Unity Xian, immortal realm expert by your side. This must be an illusion, an illusion." This unforeseen event really shocked Fong Xian quite a bit, causing him to be unable to recover for a long time. He never thought that a small heavenly devil talisman stronghold would have a Grand Unity Xian, immortal realm expert. After all, even a powerful force like the Wind Thunder Xian dynasty didn't have a Grand Unity Xian, immortal realm expert. From this, it could be seen how shocking it was for a Grand Unity Xian, immortal realm expert to appear in the heavenly devil talisman stronghold. Ignoring Fong Xian's shock, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and appeared in front of Fong Xian. He smiled faintly and said, "Your Highness, do you still want to capture a traitor like me?" Under Mo Qingyun's gaze, Fong Xian felt like he was in an ice cellar. His face kept twitching. Looking at Mo Qingyun in horror, Fong Xian kept retreating and stammered, Mr. Mo, let's talk nicely. It's my fault for not recognizing Mount Tai. I hope you won't hold it against me for offending you just now." After apologizing to Mo Qingyun, Fong Xian didn't stop talking. He immediately patted his chest and said, "I'll return to the imperial capital now and issue a decree to confer you the title of Divine Marquis of the Floating Dragon Ancient Kingdom. From now on, your status will be on par with mine." Divine Marquis of the Floating Dragon Ancient Kingdom? On par with your status? Is your status very honorable? Mo Qingyun sneered and looked down on Fong Xian even more. "Now that I've become the Divine Marquis of the Floating Dragon Ancient Kingdom, does that mean I'll have to protect it in the future?" This. Fong Xian stuttered for a long time, then looked at Mo Qingyun with an embarrassed smile and said, "If Divine Lord is willing, then that would be great. If Divine Lord doesn't want to get involved in worldly affairs, then I won't force Divine Lord. Your plan is pretty good. Do you want me to bestow you a title?" Mo Qingyun smiled playfully and looked at Fong Xian as if he was looking at a clown. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Fong Xian immediately revealed an apologetic smile, hurriedly nodding and bowing towards Mo Qingyun. This king is naturally happy to accept the title bestowed by Divine Lord. What title does Divine Lord wish to bestow upon me? How about I bestow upon you a godly watchdog? Mo Qingyun's smile widened as he continued to tease Fong Xian. Fong Xian's expression immediately turned ugly when he heard Mo Qingyun's words, but he didn't dare to anger Mo Qingyun. He had no choice. If he angered Mo Qingyun, he would really be dead meat. Mo Qingyun ignored Fong Xian's reaction and turned to look at the ground of the heavenly devil talisman stronghold. The dust on the ground was gradually dissipating. As the dust settled, the figures of Wu Fong and the others gradually appeared in everyone's line of sight. At this moment, Wu Fong and the others were in a sorry state, and it would be best to describe them as gasping for air. Aoli glanced at Wu Fong and the others before he raised his hand and made a grabbing motion towards them. He brought them over to Mo Qingyun and asked, "Master, how should we deal with these fellows?" "Master." Hearing how Aoli addressed Mo Qingyun, the surrounding people immediately trembled in fear, and their fear of Mo Qingyun grew even stronger. This Grand Unity Mystic Immortal Realm powerhouse is actually Mo Qingyun's servant. Fong Xian looked at Mo Qingyun in a daze, and he couldn't describe his current feelings. He was secretly shocked. Isn't he a disciple of the Eternal South Immortal Palace? How can he have such a powerful servant? What's going on? At this moment, Fang Xian had an urge to go crazy, and he wanted to know what was going on. Unfortunately, no one would give him an answer. Kill them. Sweeping a glance at Wu Fang and the others, Mo Qingyun revealed a cold expression as he waved his hand and ordered Aoli. Hearing Mo Qingyun's order, Aoli no longer hesitated and immediately attacked Wu Fang and the others. Seeing that Aoli wanted to kill them, Wu Fang and the others immediately trembled in fear, and they quickly begged Mo Qingyun for mercy. Young master, please don't kill us. We're willing to submit to you. In the eyes of Wu Fang and the others, even a powerhouse like Aoli had submitted to him, so what was there to be embarrassed about submitting to him? Seeing that Wu Fang and the others wanted to submit to Mo Qingyun, Fang Xian's expression immediately trembled, and he was even more afraid of Mo Qingyun. If Mo Qingyun agreed to Wu Fang and the others, there would be a few more Daluo Golden Celestials among his subordinates. Fang Xian was amazed by the speed at which he was recruiting people. However, to Fang Xian's disbelief, Mo Qingyun waved his hand coldly in the face of Wu Fang and the others' pleas. Not just anyone can be my subordinate. Aoli, do it. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he gave Aoli another order. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Aoli no longer hesitated and immediately killed Wu Fang and the others. Bang, bang, bang. Under Aoli's attack, Wu Fang and the others' bodies directly exploded, and even their souls did not escape. Seeing this, Fang Xian's face turned ashen, and his back was instantly drenched in cold sweat. It was too terrifying. In a short period of time, several Daluo Golden Celestials were killed, and not even their souls were left. Seeing this, Fang Xian's fear of Mo Qingyun reached an indescribable level. He hurriedly said, Mr. Mo, I was wrong. Please give me another chance. I've already given you a chance, but you didn't cherish it. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he raised his hand and grabbed Fang Xian. He turned to Aoli and said, Aoli, follow me to the imperial capital of the floating dragon ancient kingdom. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he summoned the lightning cloud crane and rode it to the imperial capital. As soon as Mo Qingyun mounted the lightning cloud crane, Aoli's figure flashed and flew into Mo Qingyun's spiritual star. Soon after, Mo Qingyun rode the lightning cloud crane and directly rushed to the imperial capital. While Mo Qingyun was rushing to the imperial capital, Lian Hong and the others who stayed behind in the heavenly devil talisman stronghold began to clean up the mess before them. The lightning cloud crane's speed was extremely fast. In less than a day, Mo Qingyun arrived at the imperial capital of the floating dragon ancient kingdom. As soon as Mo Qingyun arrived at the imperial capital, he released his soul power to sense the situation in the imperial capital. Under the cover of Mo Qingyun's soul power, the ministers and guards in the imperial capital, as well as some members of the imperial family, all knelt on the ground in fright. This kind of pressure was too terrifying. To people like them, it was as terrifying as a god. His soul pressure, how can it be so terrifying? Sensing Mo Qingyun's soul pressure, Fang Xian immediately trembled in fear, his eyes as wide as copper bells. You're the one. Under Mo Qingyun's probing, he found a suitable candidate and wanted him to replace Fang Xian. Mo Qingyun decided that he would nurture a puppet in the floating dragon ancient kingdom in the future. This would prevent him from causing trouble every time the floating dragon ancient kingdom changed owners, causing him to act over such trivial matters. More importantly, by nurturing the ruler of the floating dragon ancient kingdom as a puppet, it could help him gather information. Not long after, a middle-aged man was captured and appeared in front of Mo Qingyun. Imperial uncle? Seeing the middle-aged man in front of him, Fang Xian was shocked. He was very surprised that the middle-aged man had been captured. Compared to Fang Xian's shock, Fang Qiango's shock was undoubtedly more intense. When Fang Xian went to find Mo Qingyun for revenge, he had a feeling of dissatisfaction. He felt that Fang Xian's trip was dangerous and unknown. But he had never imagined that Mo Qingyun would capture Fang Xian and bring him to the imperial capital of the floating dragon ancient kingdom. Fong Qiango pays his respects to Mr. Mo. Fong Qiango had met Mo Qinyan before, so he immediately recognized Mo Qinyan. He cupped his hands and bowed to Mo Qinyan. Mr. Mo, is there anything you need from me in the imperial capital of the floating dragon ancient kingdom? Hearing Fong Qiango's words, Mo Qinyan revealed a playful smile. He threw Fong Xian in front of him and said, "There is indeed something I need you to do. I want to nurture a puppet in the floating dragon ancient kingdom to do some small things for me in the future. Are you interested?" Puppet? Fong Qiango's brows furrowed, and he instinctively hesitated. Seeing Fong Qiango's hesitation, Fong Xian's eyes lit up. He hurriedly expressed his stance to Mo Qinyan. "Mr. Mo, I'm willing to be your puppet. As long as you don't kill me, I'll do anything you want me to." Scram. In response to Fong Xian's request, Mo Qinyan's expression turned cold as he roared at him. As Mo Qinyan roared, he released a wave of soul power and directly attacked Fong Xian. Puff. Under the attack of his soul power, Fong Xian immediately spat out a mouthful of blood and his face turned pale. After releasing his soul power to injure Fong Xian, Mo Qinyan turned to look at Fong Qiango. He exuded a cold aura and said, "Have you thought about it? If you're not willing, I'll have to find someone else." I'm willing." Sensing Mo Qinyan's cold aura, Fong Qiango's face immediately trembled. He hurriedly expressed his stance to Mo Qinyan. Seeing Fong Qiango's reaction, Mo Qinyan revealed a satisfied smile. He immediately ordered Fong Qiango, "Go and cripple his cultivation. From now on, make him guard the imperial capital's entrance like a dog. He's not allowed to leave." "Yes." Hearing Mo Qinyan's order, Fong Qiango didn't hesitate and immediately walked to Fong Xian. Chapter 1675. Fong Xian, I warned you, but you didn't listen. Don't blame me for what happens now. Fong Xiong Ao walked in front of Fong Xian and looked at him sympathetically. Then he punched Fong Xian. In his opinion, if Fong Xian had listened to his advice, he wouldn't have ended up like this. Fong Xian wasn't as strong as Fong Xiong Ao to begin with, and now that he was seriously injured, he was even less of a match for Fong Xiong Ao. In addition, Mo Qinyan was suppressing Fong Xian from the side, so he didn't even have a chance to fight back. Not long after, Fong Xian's cultivation was destroyed, and he became a cripple with no cultivation. Fong Xian's cultivation was crippled. He gnashed his teeth in anger and glared at Fong Xiong Ao with venomous eyes. Fong Xiong Ao chose to ignore Fong Xian's anger. He turned to Mo Qinyan and said, "Mr. Mo, I've destroyed his cultivation. What should I do next?" "You've done well." Mo Qinyan nodded in satisfaction at Fong Xiong Ao's performance. "Now, take Fong Xian away and leave him at the imperial capital's gates. If I have something to tell you, I'll send someone to inform you." After Mo Qinyan finished speaking, he summoned the lightning cloud crane and rode it away. Mo Qinyan didn't even bother to plant a soul imprint on a nobody like Fong Xiong Ao. In his opinion, if Fong Xiong Ao dared to play any tricks, he could replace him at any time. If Fong Xiong Ao was a smart man, he wouldn't have disobeyed him or had any thoughts of rebellion. "Fong Xiong Ao, you despicable man. How dare you attack me just to survive?" Not long after Mo Qinyan left, Fong Xian's eyes turned cold as he cursed Fong Xiong Ao. Slap! Before Fong Xian could finish, Fong Xiong Ao slapped him. "Idiot," he roared. "If you'd listened to my advice and didn't cause trouble for Mo Qinyan, would you have ended up like this?" After slapping Fong Xian in the face, Fong Xiong Ao grabbed Fong Xian and flew him into the palace. Mo Qinyan left the imperial capital of the floating dragon ancient country and rode the lightning cloud crane back to the heavenly devil talisman stronghold. About half a day later, Mo Qinyan returned to the heavenly devil talisman stronghold. Under the cleaning of Lian Hong and the others, the current heavenly devil talisman stronghold was already back to normal, without the slightest trace of battle. Standing outside the heavenly devil talisman stronghold, Mo Qingyun quickly formed a hand seal and opened the talisman stronghold's array formation to enter inside. When Mo Qingyun returned to the heavenly devil talisman stronghold, he saw Shi Tongqing and the others watching anxiously. "Qingyun, you're back. Have you settled the matter?" Seeing that Mo Qingyun had returned to the heavenly devil talisman stronghold, Shi Tongqing and the others approached him and asked about Mo Qingyun with concern. Under everyone's questioning, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and nodded, replying, "Don't worry, everyone. Everything has been settled." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone's expressions relaxed. Their hearts that had been hanging in the air finally relaxed. They were really worried that Mo Qingyun's killing of Wu Fang and the others would attract even more powerful enemies. Now that they heard Mo Qingyun's words, they were no longer worried. Following that, everyone chatted with Mo Qingyun for a while more before they dispersed. After parting with the crowd, Mo Qingyun's footsteps did not stop as he immediately went to Long Rulin's residence. When Mo Qingyun arrived at Long Rulin's residence, he saw Long Hanyin and the other girls happily catching up with each other. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had returned, everyone came to welcome Mo Qingyun and spoke words of concern to Mo Qingyun. Hearing the girls' words of concern, Mo Qingyun showed an indifferent expression and comforted them again. Under Mo Qingyun's comforting words, the girls' expressions also relaxed and the worries in their hearts were swept away. After chatting with the girls for a while, Mo Qingyun returned to his room and began to cultivate to improve his strength. "Since I've finished cultivating the second stage of the Xianqing scripture, it's time to cultivate the third stage." Mo Qingyun sat in the five-directional pagoda. He checked the third stage of the Xianqing scripture and began to cultivate the third stage. As Mo Qingyun began to cultivate the third stage, his expression immediately changed as he realized that the third stage was much more difficult to cultivate. Although the third stage of the Xianqing scripture was not easy to cultivate, Mo Qingyun did not give up and was still immersed in cultivation. Under Mo Qingyun's continuous efforts, the spiritual energy in his body began to transform bit by bit. What Mo Qingyun did not expect was that as time continued to pass, his transformation speed actually became faster and faster. In the beginning, the size of the spiritual energy he could transform was as thick as a thin line. Later on, the size of the spiritual energy he could transform changed from a thin line to the size of a toothpick. Later on, the size of the spiritual energy he could transform became the size of a finger. However, when the spiritual energy he could transform reached the size of a finger, the spiritual energy did not continue to grow. It seems that this transformation speed should be a kind of limit. Realizing that the transformation speed did not change, Mo Qingyun could not help but sigh in his heart as he understood his own transformation speed. After understanding this point, Mo Qingyun no longer thought about it and immersed himself in the transformation of spiritual energy. Time passed by bit by bit. After an unknown period of time, Mo Qingyun suddenly realized that his transformation speed began to slow down. After realizing this, Mo Qingyun stopped cultivating and said with a pondering expression, "From the current situation, because of my own cultivation, my cultivation of the Xianqing scripture seems to have entered a bottleneck stage. Since the effects of cultivating the Xianqing scripture are so small, I should cultivate in another direction." Mo Qingyun was open-minded and realized that the benefits of cultivating the Xianqing scripture were not great, so he did not want to waste any more time. The second stage of the 9 revolutions, celestial demon transformation, has long been cultivated to perfection, and I can try cultivating it for the third time. After thinking for a short while, Mo Qingyun immediately decided to cultivate the third transformation of the 9 revolutions, celestial demon transformation. The third transformation of the 9 revolutions, celestial demon transformation, spiritual turtle transformation. In the form of a spiritual turtle, one could use the spiritual turtle prediction and sense what was about to happen in advance. Although the third transformation of the 9 revolutions, celestial demon transformation, is not a battle-type spiritual ability, it is far more useful than the previous 2 transformations. After seeing the contents of the third transformation of the 9 revolutions, celestial demon transformation, Mo Qingyun's expression was one of shock and astonishment. It was the first time he had seen such a technique. After realizing this, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately cultivated the third transformation of the 9 revolutions, celestial demon transformation. As Mo Qingyun cultivated the spiritual turtle transformation, a tranquil and distant aura was emitted from his body. At the same time, a shocking amount of immortal spiritual energy gathered outside of Mo Qingyun's body. The immortal spiritual energy began to gather and slowly condense into the shape of a tortoise shell, surrounding Mo Qingyun in the middle. When the tortoise shell condensed, Mo Qingyun's expression became serious, and he focused on controlling the formation of the tortoise shell. As the tortoise shell continued to condense, Mo Qingyun's spiritual energy began to deplete at a terrifying rate. After an unknown amount of time, Mo Qingyun's spiritual energy was finally depleted, and he felt that he could not bear it any longer. Bang! As Mo Qingyun withdrew his spiritual energy, the tortoise shell formed by the immortal spiritual energy collapsed. I failed. Seeing the tortoise shell collapse, Mo Qingyun could not help but sigh. He knew that his first cultivation had failed. Even though his first cultivation had failed, Mo Qingyun did not give up and immediately cultivated to recover the spiritual energy he had consumed. After several hours, when Mo Qingyun's spiritual energy had recovered, he began to cultivate the spiritual turtle transformation again. This was Mo Qingyun's second cultivation of the spiritual turtle transformation, and he was clearly more familiar with it than the first time. The speed at which he condensed the tortoise shell was also much faster. As a result, the amount of spiritual energy he consumed during the process of condensing the tortoise shell was greatly reduced. However, even so, not long after Mo Qingyun condensed the tortoise shell, he still failed. Seeing that he had failed again, Mo Qingyun did not think too much about it and continued to cultivate to recover the spiritual energy he had consumed. In the following days, Mo Qingyun patiently cultivated and time passed by unknowingly. In the blink of an eye, 2 months had passed. In these 2 months, other than cultivating the spiritual turtle transformation, Mo Qingyun spent his time with Long Han Yin and the others and chatted with them. These days were very relaxing and carefree. It was as if he was isolated from the world and stood aloof from worldly affairs. At this moment, when Mo Qingyun cultivated the spiritual turtle transformation again, the tortoise shell was finally successfully condensed. It's done. Seeing that the tortoise shell was successfully condensed, Mo Qingyun's face lit up with joy and he began to transform his body. Patter, patter. When Mo Qingyun transformed his body, a crisp sound came from his bones. At the same time, a piercing pain came along with it. Persevere, I must persevere. Mo Qingyun clenched his teeth and endured the pain in his body. He did not want to give up halfway. After an unknown period of time, when Mo Qingyun's consciousness was in a mess, his transformation was finally successful. Spiritual turtle prediction. After Mo Qingyun completed his transformation, he couldn't wait to cast his divine ability, Turtle Spirit Precognition. Buzz. As Mo Qingyun used the spiritual turtle prediction, his consciousness buzzed and a familiar scene appeared before his eyes. In this scene, a group of powerful heavenly soul demons had come to encircle and annihilate the heavenly demon talisman stronghold. The heavenly demon talisman stronghold is in trouble. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun was immediately shocked, and a sense of fear and worry rose in his heart. Startled, Mo Qingyun's consciousness retreated, and the scene in front of him dissipated. Could it be that the heavenly demon talisman stronghold will face such a calamity in the near future? Thinking back to the scene just now, Mo Qingyun could not help but guess. He immediately used the spiritual turtle prediction again. Unfortunately, Even if he used the spiritual turtle prediction again, he could only see a small part of the scene just now. No, this is related to the safety of the heavenly demon talisman stronghold. I must get to the bottom of this. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun persisted and continued to use the spiritual turtle prediction. Chapter 1676. Lad, so you are Mo Qingyun. You are indeed quite capable. I didn't expect such a genius like you to exist in such a small place. With your cultivation base at the golden immortal stage, you can die without regrets if young Master Tang Xiao remembers you. In the image projected by Gui Ling, the words of a few Tai Xian immortals entered Mo Qingyun's ears. Hearing these people's words, Mo Qingyun immediately became nervous. At the same time, he remembered a name. Tang Xiao. I heard this name from Granny Dragon Snake before. Why would he send people to deal with me? Mo Qingyun was puzzled. Logically speaking, he had never met Tang Xiao. Tang Xiao should not know him. Could it be that Dragon Snake exposed my identity? Mo Qingyun thought for a while. This was the only possibility. It shouldn't be Dragon Snake. I have no enmity with her. She has no reason to harm me. However, Mo Qingyun thought for a while. He shook his head and rejected this idea. Mo Qingyun was confident that with his relationship with the Purple Jade Wan Phoenix clan, he would not be treated like this. Then what's going on? Mo Qingyun thought for a while, but to no avail. He stopped thinking about it and said to himself, forget it. Let's not think about it anymore. I will figure it out eventually. After discarding these distracting thoughts, Mo Qingyun's consciousness returned to reality. His brows were still tightly knitted. He said to himself, if all these become reality, I must think of a way to deal with the safety of the heavenly demon talisman stronghold. Since Tang Xiao knows of my existence, it seems that some problems cannot be avoided. Thinking that his identity had been exposed, Mo Qingyun did not want to avoid it anymore. He felt that it was time to go to the heavenly soul demon clan. Mo Qingyun's personality was like this. It was impossible for him to hide and give in blindly. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, the reason why Tang Xiao could mobilize people was because Tang Xiao's cultivation talent had obtained a recognition of the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan's experts. If he returned to the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan and obtained the recognition of some elders, he would naturally have some supporters. At that time, he would have some strength to contend with Tang Xiao. In that way, he would not be in a passive situation. He would not have to hide from Tang Xiao. Thinking of this, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and decided to head to the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan. It will take too long to go to the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan. I have to settle the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan stronghold. Considering the existence of the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold, Mo Qingyun had a thoughtful expression on his face as he thought about how to deal with it. Since when Moses's the Heavenly Divine is he was obviously very worried about leaving everyone in the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold and heading to the Heavenly Soul Devil race alone. At this time, the Fortune mainland suddenly trembled, attracting Mo Qingyun's attention. The Fortune mainland's current behavior was a little unusual. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun was surprised. He immediately checked the Fortune mainland situation. After checking, Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised and excited. Among the Fortune mainland's natives, there's finally someone who has reached the immortal realm. Fortune mainland? While Mo Qingyun was checking the Fortune mainland, a wonderful idea came to his mind. Although the Fortune mainland was not as big as the desolate mainland, it was still a vast mainland. It was a place for people to live and cultivate. With the Fortune mainland space, it was completely possible to move all the Heavenly Demon Clan's residents to the Fortune mainland. In this way, the problem of moving the Heavenly Demon Clan's stronghold would be easily solved. Thinking of this, Mo Qingyun did not delay any longer and immediately went to look for Yao Liyun and the others. A short while later, Mo Qingyun arrived at Yao Liyun's residence and saw Yao Liyun, Shi Tongqing, and the others. Qingyun, is there something important that you came to look for us? Seeing Mo Qingyun's nervous expression, Yao Liyun's expression turned solemn. She hurriedly asked Mo Qingyun. Hearing Yao Liyun's question, Mo Qingyun's expression also turned solemn. He said solemnly, "Stockade Lord, I've just grasped a divine ability that can foresee some future events. I found that the heavenly demon clan's stronghold might face a calamity. I'm preparing to move the heavenly demon clan's stronghold." Yao Liyun and the others' eyes widened, and their mouths fell open. They felt that their brains were not enough to process. A divine ability that could foresee the future. Wasn't this a little too heaven-defying? Qingyun, there are close to 100,000 people in the stronghold. It won't be easy to move all of them. Thinking of the heavenly demon clan's population, Yao Liyun's expression turned solemn. She felt a headache coming on. There were hundreds of thousands of people with varying cultivation levels. Some were even in the martial Dao realm. Moving such a large group of people was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Hearing Yao Liyun's words, Shirtan Qing and the others fell silent. They agreed with Yao Liyun's consideration. Looking at the frowning Yao Liyun and the others, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said indifferently, "Stockade Lord, Master, you don't have to worry about this. Since I said to move everyone, I've naturally thought of a foolproof plan." "Oh, if that's the case, what should I do now?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yao Liyun's eyes immediately lit up. She inquired about Mo Qingyun's arrangements. Yao Liyun and the others did not doubt Mo Qingyun's plan. It was an instinctive trust. Under the gazes of Yao Liyun and the others, Mo Qingyun didn't go into detail. He only said to Yao Liyun and the others, "Go gather the people in the stronghold first. Have them gather together. Leave the rest to me." "Okay, we'll go now." Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Yao Liyun and the others did not ask any more questions. They immediately went to gather the people in the stronghold. While Yao Liyun and the others were gathering everyone, Mo Qingyun's soul entered the fortune mainland and began to transform it. There were many people in the heavenly demon clan stronghold. If he wanted to settle them all down, he had to clear out a large space. Fortunately, Mo Qingyun's existence on the fortune mainland was equivalent to a god of creation. If he wanted to open up an independent space on the fortune mainland, it wouldn't be a problem. Not long after, under the control of Mo Qingyun's will, a space was opened up on the fortune mainland. Throughout this process, the fortune mainland's aboriginals were completely unaware of what was happening. When Mo Qingyun opened up the space, everyone in the heavenly demon clan stronghold had gathered together. After gathering everyone in the stronghold, Yao Liyun and the others returned to the house and summoned Mo Qingyun for instructions. "Qingyun, everyone in the stronghold has gathered together." Yao Liyun and the others returned to the house and reported their progress to Mo Qingyun. Hearing this, Mo Qingyun did not delay any longer. He immediately got up and walked out of the house. A while later, Mo Qingyun arrived in front of everyone. He swept his gaze over the orderly crowd and said, "Wait a moment, I'm going to bring you to a place. If there's a force on your body, don't resist." "Yes." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone nodded in response. After going through so many things, Mo Qingyun's prestige in the heavenly demon clan stronghold was definitely number one. Therefore, no one doubted any of Mo Qingyun's arrangements. Seeing everyone's reaction, Mo Qingyun revealed a satisfied smile and began to connect the fortune mainland to the heavenly demon clan stronghold. Soon, a huge space tunnel appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Space tunnel? Qingyun can actually connect to another space? Master is worthy of being a sage's reincarnation. This person's means are heaven-defying. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, everyone was shocked and admired Mo Qingyun. The moment the space tunnel appeared, it released a suction force that pulled everyone into it. Sensing this tearing force, everyone's expression was clearly shocked, and they unconsciously felt a trace of resistance. Don't resist. Enter the space tunnel immediately. Seeing everyone's reaction, Mo Qingyun immediately reminded everyone to enter the space tunnel. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone gave up their resistance and entered the space tunnel one after another. A short while later, everyone in the Heavenly Demon Clan stronghold had entered the space tunnel. After entering the space tunnel, everyone walked forward until they reached the Fortune mainland. What is this place? Why does it feel like another mainland? Qing Yun actually discovered this mainland and even brought people here. This is unbelievable. Although this mainland's spiritual energy density cannot be compared to the desolate mainland, it is still much denser than the Heavenly Soul mainland. Standing on the Fortune mainland, everyone sighed with emotion. After sending everyone into the Fortune mainland, Qing Yun's figure flickered as he also entered the Fortune mainland. Qing Yun, what is this place? Seeing Qing Yun enter the Fortune mainland, Tong Qing and the others were curious and immediately asked Qing Yun. Under everyone's questioning, Qing Yun answered with a solemn expression, "This is an outer world mainland. I discovered it by accident. The strength of the natives here is very low. You can rest assured and stay here." Qing Yun did not tell them the truth about the Fortune mainland's existence. After all, it was a little too frightening. After Qing Yun finished speaking, he didn't say anything else. He immediately walked forward and said, "Come with me. I'll take you to your residences." Seeing Qing Yun walking forward, everyone did not ask any more questions and silently followed behind Qing Yun. After a short while, everyone followed Qing Yun and arrived at a valley that was like a paradise. Seeing such a scene, everyone was pleasantly surprised. This place was simply too beautiful. In the future, everyone will stay here. Qing Yun pointed at the valley and said to everyone. He then said to Yao Liyun and the others, "Fort Master, Grandfather, lead everyone in and settle down. I'll set up a formation here." Chapter 1677. On the Fortune mainland, with the Heavenly Demon Talisman stronghold strength, there was not much danger. Therefore, the defensive formation that Qing Yun had set up was not of a particularly high level. Since the grade of the defensive formations was not high, the time Qing Yun spent was naturally much less. Roughly half a month later, Qing Yun finished laying out all the defensive formations. As for the offensive formations, Qing Yun did not bother with them because they were completely useless. If the Fortune mainland's natives accidentally came to this valley, Yao Liyun could drive them away. Not to mention, these Fortune mainland's natives were the source of Qing Yun's incense power. Qing Yun wouldn't kill them to reduce the source of his Joss flame power. After settling all the matters, Qing Yun did not plan to stay any longer, heading to the Heavenly Soul Devil race. After leaving some instructions to Hongtian and the others, Qing Yun left the Fortune mainland, heading towards the Heavenly Soul Devil race. Dragon Snake has been to the Heavenly Soul Devil race. She should have a map of the Heavenly Soul Devil race. On the way to the Heavenly Soul Devil race, Qing Yun recalled Dragon Snake's words and decided to make a trip to the Violet Jade Lawn Phoenix tribe. Qing Yun had two plans for going to the Violet Jade Lawn Phoenix tribe. Firstly, he could test whether or not Granny Dragon Snake had exposed his identity. Second, he could get the map of the Heavenly Soul Devil race from Dragon Snake. Other than that, Qing Yun had promised Han Wenyu that if there was a chance, he would go to the Violet Jade Lawn Phoenix tribe to see her. Qing Yun was not very familiar with the Violet Jade Lawn Phoenix tribe's location. Thus, he could only ask Lian Hong and the others. After a series of inquiries, Qing Yun was satisfied with A.O. Li's familiarity with the Violet Jade Lawn Phoenix tribe. After learning that A.O. Li was familiar with the Purple Jade Lawn Phoenix race, Qing Yun handed the task of traveling to A.O. Li. A.O. Li was a Grand Unity Xian Immortal Realm expert. It was not a bad choice to let him ride the Lightning Cloud Crane. With A.O. Li's cultivation, he could avoid a lot of trouble during the journey. Since the task of traveling had been handed over to A.O. Li, Qing Yun did not waste any more time. Qing Yun's figure flashed and entered the 5-directional pagoda, ready to seize the time to cultivate. After entering the 5-directional pagoda, Mo Qingyun did not cultivate the spiritual turtle transformation. Instead, he chose to cultivate the Xianqing scripture. The way he saw it, the most important thing now was to raise his cultivation level as soon as possible. When he cultivated the profound, pure scripture again, something that Mo Qingyun found hard to believe happened before his eyes. At this moment, the power of the Daos that he had comprehended actually merged with the Xianqing spiritual power. In this way, the strength of the Xianqing spiritual power was equivalent to a metamorphosis. The Xianqing scripture is indeed a cultivation method of a sage. Its strength is indeed extraordinary. Noticing the change in the immortal spiritual power, Mo Qingyun's expression was shocked, and he could not help but sigh. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately worked even harder to cultivate. Time always passed very quickly during cultivation. Unknowingly, 2 months had already passed. During this period of cultivation, Mo Qingyun had already cultivated the 3rd level of the Xianqing scripture to nearly 40% completion. After discovering this, a faint smile appeared on the corner of Mo Qingyun's mouth. He silently calculated in his heart and said, "With my current cultivation speed, I will need at most half a year to reach perfection in the 3rd layer of the profound pure scripture. Master, we have already arrived at the purple Jade Wand Phoenix race's territory." At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun was about to continue cultivating, Ao Li's words entered his mind. After hearing Ao Li's words, Mo Qingyun stopped cultivating and came out of the 5-directional pagoda. "Let's go in." Arriving beside Ao Li, Mo Qingyun instructed him and walked towards the purple Jade Wand Phoenix race's territory. After entering the purple Jade Wand Phoenix race's territory, Mo Qingyun asked someone for the location of the purple Jade Wand Phoenix race's main branch. Mo Qingyun asked a little, and he knew the location of the purple Jade Wand Phoenix race's main branch. Then, Mo Qingyun and Ao Li rushed towards the purple Jade Wand Phoenix race's main branch. Several hours later, Mo Qingyun and Ao Li arrived at the purple Jade Wand Phoenix race's main branch and were stopped by a group of guards. "Who are you? Why are you here?" "I am Mo Qingyun, and I am here to look for Miss Han Wenyu." Surrounded by several guards, Mo Qingyun had his hands behind his back as he responded with an indifferent expression. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, one of the guards was shocked and looked at Mo Qingyun in surprise. He asked, "You are Mo Qingyun, Mr. Mo?" "Yes." Mo Qingyun nodded. "Mr. Mo, please wait for a moment. I will pass on your message to Miss Wenyu." Hearing Mo Qingyun's name, the guard didn't dare to hesitate and left immediately. Han Wenyu had told him that if a young man named Mo Qingyun came, he was to report to her immediately. Although he wasn't sure if the young man in front of him was the person Han Wenyu had told him to, but it wasn't a big deal for him to inform Han Wenyu. If Mo Qingyun was the person, but he didn't inform her, then it would be troublesome. Seeing the guard's actions, Mo Qingyun immediately knew that Han Wenyu had instructed him to do so. Not long after, under the guard's lead, a slender and elegant young girl flew over quickly. This young girl was the daughter of the purple Jade Wand Phoenix clan's leader, Han Wenyu. Han Wenyu smiled sweetly and came in front of Mo Qingyun. She glared at Mo Qingyun and said, "Mr. Mo, if you didn't come to see me, I would have thought that you had forgotten about me." "How could that be? Even if I had forgotten everyone else, I would never forget Miss Wenyu." Hearing Han Wenyu's words, Mo Qingyun smiled and replied casually. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Han Wenyu's pretty face immediately turned red, and a trace of sweetness appeared on her face. Han Wenyu blushed and glared at Mo Qingyun. She said, "You have a glib tongue. I think what you're saying now is the same to every girl." Han Wenyu's face turned even redder when she said this. She felt that there was something wrong with what she had said. The conversation between her and Mo Qingyun seemed a little too intimate. Hearing Mo Qingyun and Han Wenyu's conversation, the guards at the side were all stunned. They looked at Mo Qingyun with admiration. The young miss of the Purple Jade Lawn Phoenix clan had always been valiant and formidable. She was a woman who didn't lose out to men. But now, in front of Mo Qingyun, she was acting like a little girl. Mo Qingyun was really capable. It was as the saying went, everything has its vanquisher. Nephew Mo, long time no see. Just as Han Wenyu was feeling awkward, Han Wanqing heard the news from somewhere and rushed over. Because of Han Wanqing's arrival, the atmosphere at the scene became much more relaxed. Han Wenyu was no longer so shy. Along with Han Wanqing were many elders of the Purple Jade Lawn Phoenix clan and Dragon Snake, who was acquainted with Mo Qingyun. Junior Mo Qingyun pays his respects to Uncle Han, Dragon Snake, and seniors. Seeing Han Wanqing and the others approaching, Mo Qingyun had a respectful expression on his face as he cupped his hands and saluted them. No need for formalities. Han Wanqing smiled and waved his hand at Mo Qingyun's behavior. He gestured to Mo Qingyun and said, Nephew Mo and this friend, please follow me inside for a chat. Mo Qingyun nodded and walked into the Purple Jade Lawn Phoenix clan's headquarters with Han Wanqing and the others. As Han Wanqing and the others walked in, their gazes paused on Ao Li. Obviously, they were very surprised that Ao Li, who was at the Tai Xian Immortal Realm, would be with Mo Qingyun. Ao Li did not care about the gazes of Han Wanqing and the others. He followed Mo Qingyun with a cold expression. Seeing Ao Li's behavior, Han Wanqing and the others were puzzled. However, they did not ask any questions. After a while, under Han Wanqing's lead, Mo Qingyun and the others walked into a large hall and found a place to sit down. After Mo Qingyun and the others were seated, Han Wanqing ordered some of the clan members to bring out their precious fruits and wine. Uncle Han, I actually came here today, mainly because I have a favor to ask of you. After exchanging pleasantries with Han Wanqing and the others, Mo Qingyun did not beat around the bush and directly stated his purpose for coming. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the expressions of Han Wanqing and the others changed. They were all curious. Under the curious gazes of Han Wanqing and the others, Mo Qingyun looked at Dragon Snake and asked, Senior, have you been to the Heavenly Soul Devil Clan recently? Never. Dragon Snake shook her head. After pondering for a while, she said, Ever since I left the Myriad Treasures auction house, I have been staying in the Purple Jade Lawn Phoenix clan's headquarters. Hearing Granny Dragon Snake's reply, Mo Qingyun's brows furrowed slightly as his emotions changed. In that case, it seemed that Ting Zhao's knowledge of his existence had nothing to do with Dragon Snake. Mo Qingyun did not doubt Dragon Snake's words. Dragon Snake did not need to quibble about something like this. Seeing Mo Qingyun's change in expression, Han Wanqing felt that something was off. He asked, Dear nephew, have you encountered some trouble? Why don't you tell us? Perhaps we can do something to help. Hearing Han Wanqing's words, Mo Qingyun still looked at Dragon Snake and asked, Senior, I once heard you say that you went to the Heavenly Soul Devil Clan. Do you have a map of the Heavenly Soul Devil Clan? Dragon Snake immediately understood when she was asked this. She guessed Mo Qingyun's intentions for coming. She said, So you've come here today for the map of the Heavenly Soul Devil Clan. Have you thought it through and decided to return to the Heavenly Soul Devil Clan? That's right. There are some things that I have to face eventually. Mo Qingyun did not deny Dragon Snake's question. He nodded solemnly and admitted it. Han Wanqing and the others all showed admiration when they saw Mo Qingyun's behavior. A sliver of anticipation appeared on their faces. Chapter 1678. This is the map of the Heavenly Soul Demon Tribe. You can keep it. After hearing Mo Qingyun's reply, Dragon Snake took out a scroll and handed it to Mo Qingyun. Thank you, Senior. After receiving the map of the Heavenly Soul Demon race from Granny Dragon Snake, Mo Qingyun expressed his gratitude with joy. With the map in hand, he was relieved and didn't have to worry about the route anymore. Furthermore, after talking to Dragon Snake, he confirmed that it wasn't Dragon Snake who had revealed his identity. In this way, he had achieved his goal of coming to the Purple Jade Lawn Phoenix clan. After that, Mo Qingyun chatted with Han Wanqing and the others. They reminisced about the past and discussed their plans for the future. After a few hours, the drinking ended and everyone dispersed. Due to the relationship between Mo Qingyun and Han Wenyu, the task of arranging accommodation for Mo Qingyun naturally fell to Han Wenyu. Seeing that everyone had dispersed and only Mo Qingyun and herself were left, Han Wenyu blushed and said, "The lady you're looking for, have you found her?" Mo Qingyun had told Han Wenyu about Long Hanyin before, so she knew about it. After hearing Han Wenyu's question, Mo Qingyun didn't deny it. He nodded and said, "I've already found her. If you want to see her, I can bring you there immediately." See her? Han Wenyu looked hesitant. She was obviously hesitant. As for his true identity, Han Wenyu already knew about it. She was the same as Long Hanyin. She could be a clone of some almighty from the 1,000 illusions. Speaking of which, the relationship between her and Long Hanyin was also very subtle. Seeing that Han Wenyu was hesitant, Mo Qingyun didn't rush her. He let Han Wenyu think about it slowly. For a moment, Mo Qingyun and Han Wenyu walked side by side. Neither of them spoke. After a while, with Han Wenyu leading the way, Mo Qingyun arrived at a courtyard. "This will be your accommodation." After walking to the front of the courtyard, Han Wenyu pointed at the courtyard and walked in first. Hearing that, Mo Qingyun nodded and followed her into the courtyard. After a while, Han Wenyu arranged Mo Qingyun's accommodation. She took a deep breath and said, "Qingyun, let me see her." It seemed that after some hesitation, Han Wenyu still wanted to see Long Hanyin. Speaking of which, she was very curious about the existence of Long Hanyin. Okay. Hearing Han Wenyu's request, Mo Qingyun immediately agreed. He held Han Wenyu's hand and disappeared in a flicker. A short while later, Mo Qingyun and Huang Xiaolong's figures appeared on the Fortune mainland. This place is... Looking at the scene in front of her, Han Wenyu's eyes widened in shock. She was certain that the place she was in now was definitely not the wilderness continent. Shuttling between continents? At this moment, a shocking thought appeared in Han Wenyu's mind. Who would have thought that in such a short period of time, Mo Qingyun had grasped the heaven-defying method of shuttling between continents? While Han Wenyu was still in shock, Mo Qingyun smiled and explained to Han Wenyu, "This is another continent. I found a method to come here by chance." In order not to shock Han Wenyu too much, Mo Qingyun did not answer truthfully. Instead, he found an excuse to explain. After all, the fact that he was carrying an entire continent with him was simply too frightening. It really is another continent. Han Wenyu's pretty face was filled with shock. The doubt in her heart had been answered. Then, Han Wenyu looked at Mo Qingyun in a different light, inwardly saying, after not seeing him for a while, he has become more mysterious than before. His methods and abilities are also more unimaginable. Mo Qingyun was unaware of Han Wenyu's thoughts. He was only thinking of bringing Han Wenyu to see Long Hanyin and the others. A short while later, under Mo Qingyun's lead, they arrived at the valley where everyone was staying. Qingyun Valley. When they arrived at the front of the valley, Mo Qingyun saw 3 simple and unadorned words on a huge blue stone. It seemed that this was the name that Shi Tongqing and the others had given to the valley after he left. Standing outside Qingyun Valley, Mo Qingyun quickly formed a hand seal and pressed it against the array outside the valley. Then, the array guarding Qingyun Valley emitted a dazzling light. At the same time that the light bloomed, a passageway that could accommodate many people appeared in front of Mo Qingyun. "Let's go in." Mo Qingyun opened the protective array, nodded to Han Wenyu, and walked into Qingyun Valley. Hearing this, Han Wenyu did not hesitate and immediately followed behind Mo Qingyun. Walking into Qingyun Valley, Mo Qingyun saw many people busy in the valley. Some people were farming, some were cultivating, and some were refining weapons. Looking at the scene in the valley, the shock on Han Wenyu's face immediately became even more intense. She originally thought that Long Hanyin was the only one living in this valley. She did not expect that this valley was like a paradise and there were so many people living in it. Mr. Mo, you're back. When everyone saw Mo Qingyan approaching, they all showed a respectful expression and greeted Mo Qingyan. As for Han Wenyu, everyone was not curious and only bowed respectfully. Presumably, in everyone's eyes, Han Wenyu was Long Han Yin, but she was dressed differently today. Mo Qingyan walked and greeted everyone as he walked. He arrived at Long Han Yin's residence. Perhaps it was because they had not seen each other for a long time. Long Han Yin and the other girls had endless things to talk about, so they always gathered in groups. When Mo Qingyan just walked into the courtyard, he saw Long Han Yin and the other girls, who were chatting and laughing. When the girls saw Mo Qingyan coming back, they were all surprised, and they all walked towards Mo Qingyan to greet him. But when they saw Han Wenyu, they were all shocked. They all opened their eyes and mouths wide. What was going on? Why was there another person like Han Yin? After a short period of shock, Long Han Yin came back to herself and asked Mo Qingyan tentatively, "Qingyan, is this girl also a clone of the Linglong Saintess like me?" "Yes." Mo Qingyan nodded, raised his finger and pointed at Han Wenyu, and introduced, "This is Lady Wenyu, the daughter of the Purple Jade Luan Phoenix clan's patriarch. Of course, her other identity is the same as Han Yin and Qingyu. They are all clones of the Linglong Saintess." Lady Wenyu, long time no see. Murong Qingyu had seen Han Wenyu before, so she was not a stranger. After introducing Han Wenyu to everyone, Mo Qingyan introduced Yi Wuyo and the other girls to Han Wenyu. After Mo Qingyan's introduction, the girls got to know each other. After a while, the girls were having a good time, and they forgot about Mo Qingyan. Seeing such a scene, Mo Qingyan could not help but smile bitterly. What was going on? Although he was a little depressed, Mo Qingyan did not show it, and sat at the side with an indifferent expression. After the girls chatted for a while, Ruo Shui and the other girls left, leaving behind Long Han Yin, Murong Qingyu, and Han Wenyu. In the girls' opinion, with the special relationship between Long Han Yin and the other two girls, they should have some private words to say. Buzz, buzz, buzz. At this time, when the girls left, Long Han Yin's body throbbed. Then, the jade pendant hanging on Long Han Yin's waist began to gather spiritual power at a rapid speed. After a while, a beautiful figure of a fairy spirit condensed in front of Long Han Yin and the other two girls. Linglong Saintess? Seeing the beautiful figure in front of them, Mo Qingyan and the others were surprised, and they immediately recognized the beautiful figure. After recognizing Qian Linglong, Mo Qingyan's expression changed, and he said with some displeasure, "Miss Linglong, you left a mark on Han Yan's body. Could it be that you want to monitor Han Yan?" "Mr. Mo, don't forget, Han Yin is my clone." Hearing Mo Qingyan's words, Qian Linglong blinked her eyes, revealing an expression that said, "Han Yin and I are actually one. It shouldn't be wrong for me to put something on my body, right? How about I let you check next time?" When she said this, Qian Linglong blinked her eyes, and she looked like she was tempting Mo Qingyan. Mo Qingyan was speechless. He could not win against Qian Linglong. What made Mo Qingyan even more speechless was that Qian Linglong, an expert who had shocked the past and present, had such a playful personality. Seeing that Mo Qingyan was silent, Qian Linglong did not continue. She glanced at Long Han Yin and the other two girls and said, "I didn't expect my 3 clones to have feelings for you. It seems that you're really my destined person." Mo Qingyan was embarrassed again. However, Han Wenyu and the other girls saw the expression of the Linglong Saintess, and they all laughed meaningfully. From the perspective of women, they could see that Qian Linglong's feelings for Mo Qingyan were not ordinary. "Linglong Saintess, why don't you also give in to Qingyan?" Among the girls, Han Wenyu's character was the most lively. Seeing the Linglong Saintess's action, she immediately encouraged the Linglong Saintess. Hearing Han Wenyu's words, Long Han Yin and the other two girls suddenly opened their eyes wide, and they were shocked by Han Wenyu's action. Han Wenyu was so bold, she actually dared to joke with the Supreme Being like this. Hearing Han Wenyu's words, the Linglong Saintess's expression obviously changed, and she unconsciously looked at Mo Qingyun and said, I do want to give in, but unfortunately, Mr. Mo doesn't like me. He likes my clones. Hearing Qian Linglong's words, Mo Qingyun was embarrassed. Qian Linglong was getting bolder and bolder. While Mo Qingyun was embarrassed, Han Wenyu and the other girls smiled evilly and immediately winked at Mo Qingyun and said, Qingyun, the Linglong Saintess has said so. If you don't give in to her, you will be wasting her good intentions. That's right. If you don't give in to her, we can't be with you. Long Hanyun's pretty face blushed, and she also joined in the fun. At this moment, it seemed that the three clones of Long Hanyan had a common enemy. Under the encouragement of Long Hanyan and the other girls, Mo Qingyun also felt that he could not give in. Chapter 1679. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, Long Hanyan and the other girls stared with their eyes wide open. They did not expect Mo Qingyun to be so direct. What shocked them even more was that Mo Qingyun actually suggested sleeping together. This was too domineering. Even if it was true in the future, it would still be embarrassing to say it so directly. You wish. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was about to make a move, Qian Linglong immediately cowered and revealed a shy expression. She was the saintess of the 1,000 illusions. How could she sleep together with a man like an ordinary girl? Qian Linglong replied shyly. She then glared at Mo Qingyun and said, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. Remember my words. You are not allowed to do that. At this moment, Qian Linglong was no different from a young girl who had just experienced her first awakening of love. Not allowed to do that. Hearing Qian Linglong's words, Mo Qingyun was startled and did not react in time. Seeing Mo Qingyun's reaction, Long Hanyan and the other girls were shocked. Immediately, the girls gave Mo Qingyun a thumbs up, as if they were praising Qingyun. After Mo Qingyun's question, Qian Linglong immediately became even more shy. She angrily glared at Mo Qingyun and said, You're going to piss me off. That's it. After hearing Qian Linglong's emphasis, Mo Qingyun immediately understood and revealed an awkward smile. So Qian Linglong was referring to that. It seemed like the joke had gone too far. However, for some reason, Mo Qingyun said with a serious expression, Miss Linglong, don't worry. Since I promised you, I will not do that with Han Yin and the others when you're not around. Puffed. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Linglong instantly vomited blood and did not know what to say. According to Mo Qingyun's words, it seemed like they could do it if she was around. Qian Linglong gave Mo Qingyun a strange look. She then revealed a bashful expression and said, I won't tell you. After Qian Linglong finished speaking, her figure flashed and disappeared in front of Mo Qingyun. 1,000 illusions, inner clan Dongting Lake. This Mo Qingyun is really despicable. He actually dared to flirt with me. Recalling Mo Qingyun's words, Qian Linglong blushed. She clenched her fist and said, Humph. The next time I see him, I will teach him a lesson and let him know how powerful this saintess is. After Qian Linglong vented her shyness, she revealed a rueful expression and said, I didn't expect him to be entangled with my 3 doppelgangers. Could it be that he is destined to be my man? At the thought of this, Qian Linglong was at a loss. She was at a loss about the future. She realized that the more she interacted with Mo Qingyun, the more entangled she was with Mo Qingyun. In Long Hanyun's courtyard, Qingyun, you are so powerful. Even the saintess is afraid of you. Qingyun, when did you subdue the saintess? Not long after Qian Linglong left, Long Hanyan and the other girls surrounded Mo Qingyun. After hearing what Long Hanyan and the other girls said, Mo Qingyun was speechless and revealed an awkward expression. These girls were really touching the pot that didn't boil. After a short moment of depression, Mo Qingyun did not back down. He smiled faintly and looked at the girls. He said, Why are you so anxious to have me subdue the saintess? Do you want that? After the conversation with Qian Linglong, Mo Qingyun also realized that he could not back down when talking about this topic. As long as he took the initiative, Long Hanyin and the other girls would definitely be shy and would not dare to tease him anymore. As expected, after hearing what Mo Qingyun said, Long Hanyin and the other girls were immediately embarrassed. They said, "You are so annoying. We're not talking to you anymore." After Han Wenyu and the other girls finished speaking, they disappeared in front of Mo Qingyun like colorful butterflies. Seeing what Han Wenyu and the other girls did, Mo Qingyun did not chase after them. He smiled faintly and walked out of the courtyard. After leaving Long Hanyun's residence, Mo Qingyun strolled around Qingyun Valley and observed the changes in Qingyun Valley. After a few hours, Mo Qingyun returned to Long Hanyun's courtyard. He wanted to ask Han Wenyu for her opinion. He wanted to see if Han Wenyu planned to stay for a few more days or return to the Purple Jade Wan Phoenix tribe. After all, he was going to the Heavenly Soul Demon race. He could not stay in the Purple Jade Wan Phoenix tribe for long. "Qingyun, you are back." Seeing that Mo Qingyun had returned, Han Wenyu and the other girls smiled faintly and walked towards Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun walked in front of the girls. He turned to Han Wenyu and asked, "Lady Wenyu, I am going to the Heavenly Soul Demon race. I cannot stay in the Purple Jade Wan Phoenix tribe for long. Do you plan to stay in the Qingyun Valley or return to the Purple Jade Wan Phoenix tribe?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Han Wenyu revealed a hesitant expression. She was considering whether to stay or leave. When Han Wenyu revealed a hesitant expression, Long Hanyin and the other girl immediately persuaded her. "Wenyu, it is meaningless for you to return to the tribe. Why don't you stay here? In any case, this place does not lack cultivation resources. Also, the cultivation of the people on this continent is very low. We can play around as we wish." Morong Qingyu added. Hearing the two girls' persuasion, Han Wenyu was immediately moved. She made a decision in her heart and said, "Qingyun, send me back to the Purple Jade Wan Phoenix tribe first. I will bid farewell to my father and return to the Qingyun Valley." "Okay." Hearing Han Wenyu's decision, Mo Qingyun nodded in agreement. Then, Mo Qingyun sent Han Wenyu out and let her bid farewell to Han Wanqing and the others. After sending Han Wenyu out, Mo Qingyun stayed at the Purple Jade Wan Phoenix tribe and waited for Han Wenyu to come find him. The night passed without words. The next morning, Han Wenyu, accompanied by Han Wanqing and the others, arrived at Mo Qingyun's courtyard. They were prepared to send Han Wenyu off. "Nephew, I will now hand Wenyu over to you. You must take good care of her for me." Patting Mo Qingyun's shoulder, Han Wanqing revealed a solemn expression and warned Mo Qingyun. Hearing Han Wanqing's words, Han Wenyu blushed and said shyly, "Dad, what did you say?" "I'm only going out to play with Mr. Mo because of the Fortune Mainland's special existence." Han Wenyu did not tell Han Wanqing and the others about her trip. She only told Han Wanqing and the others that she was leaving with Mo Qingyun to gain experience. Remembering that Mo Qingyun had Ao Li accompanying him, Han Wanqing and the others were not worried that Han Wenyu would be in danger following Mo Qingyun. Seeing Han Wenyu's shy behavior, Han Wanqing and the others immediately burst into laughter, showing a happy expression. Then, Mo Qingyun chatted with the others for a while before leaving with Han Wenyu. "Patriarch, Mo Qingyun is different from others. Wenyu will be fine following him." Watching Mo Qingyun leave, Dragon Snake smiled faintly and comforted Han Wanqing. Hearing Granny Dragon Snake's words, Han Wanqing shook his head and said with a smile, "I'm not worried about this. I'm just thinking about what kind of shocking performance this kid will have when he returns to the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan." Hearing Han Wanqing's words, everyone's expression changed, revealing a look of anticipation. The lightning cloud crane's speed was extremely fast. It soon left the Violet Jade Wan Phoenix tribe's territory with Mo Qingyun and Huang Xiaolong. After leaving the Violet Jade Wan Phoenix tribe's territory, Mo Qingyun summoned Ao Li and had him ride on the lightning cloud crane. Then, Mo Qingyun's figure flickered as he entered the Fortune Mainland with Han Wenyu. Arriving at the Fortune Mainland, Mo Qingyun settled Han Wenyu down and went into seclusion to cultivate. This time, Mo Qingyun was still cultivating the Xian Qing scripture so that his cultivation could break through faster. Under Mo Qingyun's cultivation, the various Tao forces he comprehended gradually merged with his profound purity spiritual energy. This continued for 2 months before Mo Qingyun's cultivation progress finally came to a halt. All the Tao forces he comprehended had merged with his profound purity spiritual energy. In this way, if he wanted to take another step forward, he had to comprehend more Tao forces. It seems like it's impossible to cultivate the third layer of the profound purity scripture to a deeper level. Realizing his current situation, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but sigh. He decided to stop cultivating the profound purity scripture. Although he stopped cultivating the profound purity scripture, Mo Qingyun didn't stop cultivating. He planned to cultivate other aspects. With my current cultivation, comprehending the several great inheritances shouldn't be difficult. When Mo Qingyun had first obtained the several great inheritances, his cultivation hadn't reached the true immortal realm. Now it was completely different. With Mo Qingyun's current cultivation, comprehending the several great inheritances would be much easier. As expected, the difficulty of comprehending the several great inheritances for Mo Qingyun had been reduced to the extreme. In a short month, Mo Qingyun had thoroughly comprehended the 4 great inheritances. It seems like everything is in vain if my cultivation isn't enough. Seeing this result, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but sigh. His thirst for strength increased. At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun was sighing in his heart, Ao Li sent him a voice transmission. "Master, we seem to be targeted." Hearing Ao Li's words, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He asked, "How strong is the other party?" But according to my senses, there shouldn't be any Grand Unity Xian Immortal Realm experts in the group following us. Ao Li answered Mo Qingyun's question truthfully. Hearing Ao Li's answer, Mo Qingyun's brows relaxed a little. The worry in his heart lessened a lot. He said, "Ignore them for now. Let's continue on our way." Since there were no Grand Unity Xian Immortal Realm experts, Mo Qingyun wasn't worried. Ao Li's cultivation was enough to deal with them. Yes. Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Ao Li didn't hesitate and continued to ride the lightning cloudy crane. After instructing Ao Li, Mo Qingyun had a thoughtful expression. He silently pondered in his heart. Could it be Teng Zhao's people? But according to Gue Ling's prediction, there are Grand Unity Xian Immortal Realm experts in the group sent by Teng Zhao. Chapter 1680. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, with the lightning cloud crane's flying speed, those people should not be able to catch up for long. Once the lightning cloud crane shook them off, there was no need to pay attention to them. But for some reason, no matter how fast Ao Li was, those people were always able to follow him at a steady pace. Seeing such a strange situation, Ao Li seemed to have thought of something and hurriedly sent a voice transmission to Mo Qingyun. "Master, if I'm not wrong, they might have left a tracking mark on me." In Ao Li's opinion, this was the only possibility for those people to be able to keep chasing him. It's indeed a little troublesome to be followed by them like this. Mo Qingyun frowned slightly. He also felt that something was wrong and began to think of a solution. After thinking for a while, Mo Qingyun immediately had a plan and knew what to do next. Turtle Spirit Prediction. Rays of bright light gathered outside Mo Qingyun's body and turned into a huge turtle shell. At the same time, when the turtle shell was formed, an ancient and vicissitude aura was emitted from Mo Qingyun's body. After a while, a golden light flew out from Mo Qingyun's body and condensed into a projection in front of him. In the projection, there were several Tai Xian Immortal Realm experts who were chasing Mo Qingyun crazily. It seems that although I have left the Heavenly Demon Talisman stronghold, I still can't shake them off. Seeing these figures in the projection, Mo Qingyun's expression turned serious. He knew the origin of those people behind him. Sure enough, These people who were chasing them were sent by that guy called Tang Xiao. At present, it seemed that the Daluo Golden Immortal Realm experts sent by Tang Xiao did not have time to meet up with these people. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and came to Ao Li's side. He said in a deep voice, "Since they like to follow us so much, let's stop and wait for them." With Mo Qingyun's personality, he naturally did not like to be chased. He preferred to take the initiative to chase after the enemy. Moreover, these people were all Daluo Golden Immortals. It was not particularly troublesome to deal with them. Previously, Mo Qingyun did not want to take action because it was rare for him to lower himself to their level. However, these people did not know how to appreciate his kindness. Naturally, Mo Qingyun would not be polite. Yes, after receiving Mo Qingyun's order, Aoli immediately responded and stopped moving. Although Mo Qingyun's movement, those people did not follow him, and they also stopped not far away. Seeing that the other party didn't rush over, a faint smile appeared on Mo Qingyun's face. He shouted, "Everyone, since we're going the same way, how about we travel together?" As Mo Qingyun's words spread, the expressions of the people behind him changed. A hint of panic flashed across their faces. His whereabouts had been exposed. What is two's to be? Everyone discussed for a while. Attention to be two. After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he flew towards those people. In the blink of an eye, he arrived before them. Arriving in front of these people, Ao Li released his aura and crushed towards these people. Under Ao Li's aura, these people's faces turned pale and they looked terrified. With their abilities, they were no match for Ao Li. They're not from the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan. Mo Qingyun scanned the people before him and realized that they were not from the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan. Mo Qingyun's expression changed when he realized that they were not from the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan. He was puzzled and asked, "Who are you? Why are you following us?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, these people fell silent and no one answered. "You're not speaking?" Mo Qingyun squinted his eyes and his expression turned cold. Coldness radiated from his body. Mo Qingyun nodded at Ao Li and signaled for him to kill these people. "Leave one alive. Kill the rest." "Yes." Hearing Mo Qingyun's order, Ao Li's figure flashed, and he charged towards one of the people. Seeing Mo Qingyun and Ao Li's decisive actions, these people were shocked, and they became even more panicked. They did not think that Mo Qingyun would act so decisively. He did not give them any chance to explain themselves. "Sir, you have no enmity with us. You've gone too far." A soul formation expert scolded coldly and angrily when he saw Mo Qingyun and Ao Li's actions. While they were scolding, they did not remain idle. They immediately joined forces with Ao Li to trap them. "I don't like the feeling of having a long tail. Naturally, I'll cut it off." Mo Qingyun had a cold expression on his face as he responded and also joined the battle. Combination Gate. In order to end the battle quickly, Mo Qingyun did not hold back. He immediately unleashed his martial soul mystique. Suddenly, a light gate with 3 grooves appeared in the sky above them. As soon as the combination gate appeared, it emitted a terrifying sealing power that blasted into everyone's bodies. Puffed. After being blasted by the sealing power, everyone immediately spat out blood, and their faces turned pale. However, what frightened them the most was that their cultivation levels were weakening. In an instant, they had fallen by a level. Originally, they were not as strong as Ao Li and could not fight against him for too long. Now that their cultivation levels had all fallen, they were even less of a match for Ao Li. In this way, they were in a terrible situation. If things went wrong, they might all die here. No wonder someone offered a quasi-sacred artifact to buy this kid's head. This kid is really not easy to deal with. After seeing Mo Qingyun's means, a bitter expression appeared on one of the people's faces. He knew that Mo Qingyun was difficult to deal with. At this moment, he felt a strong sense of regret in his heart. If he had known that Mo Qingyun was so terrifying, He would not have taken the risk, no matter how precious the quasi-sacred artifact was. If he did not even have his head, even if he obtained the quasi-sacred artifact, it would be useless. Mo Qingyun naturally did not care about these people's thoughts. What he cared about was what that person had said. Using a quasi-sacred artifact as a reward to exchange for my head? Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold. He understood why he was being tracked. A cold smile appeared on his face. Tung Xiao, you really think highly of me. You are actually willing to take out a quasi-sacred artifact to take my head. If that's the case, I have to speed up and head to the heavenly soul demon race. Mo Qingyun was very clear that with the power that Tung Xiao could use, it was most likely useless for him to hide. Besides, it was not Mo Qingyun's style to blindly hide and evade. Since Tung Xiao wanted to deal with him, he naturally could not swallow his anger. He had to retaliate. Going to the heavenly soul demon race was dangerous, but it was also an opportunity for him to fight against Tung Xiao. More importantly, Mo Qingyun had already thought of a way out. His original body would go to the heavenly soul demon race and leave his clone in the outside world. Even if his original body met with an accident, he could still condense his original body's cultivation. Although it would waste some of his cultivation time, it could make Tung Xiao mistakenly believe that Mo Qingyun had been killed by him. This person is that kid's subordinate. As long as we capture that kid, this person will hesitate to attack. These people had fought with Ao Li for a while and discovered the relationship between Mo Qingyun and Ao Li. They planned to capture the leader first to capture all the followers. Soon, a golden celestial of the great, all-embracing heaven flew towards Mo Qingyun with a cold smile. Kid, you're just a golden celestial. How dare you join the battle? I think you're tired of living. When he came in front of Mo Qingyun, this person's cold smile became more obvious. He was like a hunter. In his opinion, no matter how strange Mo Qingyun was, his cultivation was still there. There was a difference of a whole realm between them. Mo Qingyun could not resist at all in front of this person. River floating cloud hand. A terrifying wave of immortal spiritual energy exploded from this person's hand and turned into a giant cloud-like palm. Soon, this giant cloud-like palm descended from the sky. Under the grip of this huge hand, all of Mo Qingyun's escape routes were blocked in an instant. Very well, I will borrow your hand to test my strength. Faced with this situation, Mo Qingyun did not show any signs of panic. Instead, a faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Recently, his cultivation had just broken through. He was worried that he could not find a sparring partner. This person was only at the firefly stage. As a sparring partner, he could not be more suitable. Demonic fist shattering the Milky Way. Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold when he saw the palms coming at him at high speed. He immediately threw a punch at the sky. A terrifying demonic aura exploded from Mo Qingyun's body and turned into a giant demonic shadow. On Mo Qingyun's fist, the black mist-like immortal spiritual energy quickly gathered and turned into a giant fist shadow. The shadow of a fist blasted out from Mo Qingyun's fist, and with an unstoppable momentum, it shattered the giant palm in the sky. He destroyed it. Looking at this scene, this person was immediately shocked. He could not believe Mo Qingyun's performance. He said, How is this possible? This kid is only at the golden immortal stage. How can he break my divine power? After destroying the cloud with one punch, Mo Qingyun's figure did not stop. He immediately charged towards this person. After a few flashes, Mo Qingyun arrived in front of this person and punched towards him. Kid, you've gone too far. Seeing Mo Qingyun take the initiative to attack him, this person's face immediately darkened. It was as if he had been humiliated. He was a golden immortal of the great, all-embracing heaven. It was too embarrassing for him to be attacked by a golden immortal. This person shouted angrily. He rushed towards Mo Qingyun and fought with Mo Qingyun head-on. The longer this person fought with Mo Qingyun, the more frightened he became. He was terrified of Mo Qingyun's strength. Although Mo Qingyun was one stage lower than him, Mo Qingyun was stronger than him in both body and soul. This was too terrifying. If Mo Qingyun broke through to the golden immortal of the great all-embracing heaven, how terrifying would that be? The more this person thought about it, the more afraid he became. In the end, he did not even have the courage to fight. Chapter 1681. Brat, don't look down on me. Hearing Mo Qingyun's disdainful words, the man was immediately enraged and roared at Mo Qingyun. However, before he could finish his words, Mo Qingyun's fist came flying at him again, smashing into his chest in a domineering manner. Bang! After being hit by Mo Qingyun's punch, the man was immediately sent flying in the direction of Ao Li and the others. After a while, the man flew to the side of the others, shocking those who were fighting Ao Li. Jiang Chao, what's going on? Why are you in such a sorry state when dealing with a golden immortal brat? Seeing the man fly over, the others who were unaware of the situation asked in confusion. Hearing the complaints of others, Jiang Chao wanted to cry. Although Mo Qingyun was only a golden immortal, his true strength was comparable to a quasi-grand unity arcane immortal. He could be considered to be suffering in silence, unable to voice out his bitterness. This brat is a little strange. He's not as simple as he seems on the surface. Hearing the words of the others, Jiang Chao had a bitter expression on his face as he tried to explain himself. The others did not believe Jiang Chao's explanation. One of them, who was at the sturdy soul stage, said coldly, I don't believe that a golden immortal brat can be that strong. You and the others deal with this person. I'll go over and take care of that brat. Shao Qi, that brat is very strange. Don't be careless. Seeing the man's actions, Jiang Chao's face was solemn as he hurriedly warned the man. Unfortunately, the man did not listen to his warning at all. Seeing this, Jiang Chao could only sigh helplessly and deal with Ao Li with the others. After a while, the man called Shao Qi arrived in front of Mo Qingyun. Sturdy soul stage, slightly stronger than the man just now. He's a very good sparring partner. Seeing Shao Qi in front of him, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and his body emitted a fighting spirit. Then, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and appeared in front of Shao Qi. A terrifying black mist-like immortal spiritual energy gathered on Mo Qingyun's fist, emitting a monstrous demonic aura. Under this demonic pressure, Shao Qi's expression suddenly trembled, and the way he looked at Mo Qingyun changed greatly. At this moment, he finally understood. With Mo Qingyun's golden immortal cultivation base, why would Jiang Chao end up in such a sorry state when fighting against him? Judging from the current situation, Mo Qingyun's true combat strength was probably not much weaker than his. Before Shao Qi could recover from the shock in his heart, Mo Qingyun's fist was already nearing him. It was aimed directly at his face. Facing Mo Qingyun's punch, Shao Qi didn't dare to be careless. He immediately crossed his arms in front of him. Boom! When Mo Qingyun's fist landed on Shao Qi's arm, a muffled sound immediately rang out. A terrifying wave of energy erupted where the fist and arm collided, forming a terrifying storm of spiritual energy. Under the impact of the storm of spiritual energy, Mo Qingyun and Shao Qi were both pushed back 1,000 meters before coming to a stop. So strong. Feeling the swelling on his arm, Shao Qi was shocked, and the way he looked at Mo Qingyun changed again. After fighting with Mo Qingyun for a short time, his impression of Mo Qingyun had undergone a series of changes. The feeling that Mo Qingyun gave him now was that the stronger he got, the stronger he became. There was no upper limit to his strength. This kid is too strange. We must defeat him with lightning speed. After seeing Mo Qingyun's strangeness, Shao Qi didn't dare to underestimate him and decided to end the battle quickly with Mo Qingyun. He wanted to end the battle quickly with Mo Qingyun, not only because of his fear of Mo Qingyun, but also because Jiang Chao and the others couldn't hold on any longer. If nothing unexpected happened, Ao Li would kill Jiang Chao and the others, and at most of the time it would take to brew a cup of tea. Once Jiang Chao and the others were killed, he wouldn't be a match for Ao Li with his soul-strengthening stage cultivation. Therefore, he must seize the time to defeat Mo Qingyun and escape with his life. Whoosh! While Shao Qi was pondering, Mo Qingyun turned into a stream of light and streaked across the sky like a meteor. In the blink of an eye, Mo Qingyun arrived in front of Shao Qi and punched at him. Under Mo Qingyun's punch, the black immortal spiritual energy on his fist left behind a half-moon afterimage. Facing Mo Qingyun's attack, Shao Qi didn't dare to underestimate it and immediately resisted with all his strength. Then, Mo Qingyun and Shao Qi's figures flickered in the air. From the flickering figures of the two, it could be vaguely seen that Shao Qi had been suppressed all this while. This damn brat! How can he be so strong? Faced with Mo Qingyun's strong suppression, Shao Qi was so angry that his teeth itched. His heart was bitter beyond words. Now, he was regretting it to the extreme. If he had known that Mo Qingyun was so strong, he would have rather faced Ao Li. At least there would be someone to share the pressure. Now that he was facing Mo Qingyun alone, he had become a target and was constantly attacked by Mo Qingyun. More importantly, Mo Qingyun's attacks were not heavy, as if he was afraid of crippling him. It's about time. While Shao Qi was feeling depressed, Mo Qingyun's voice sounded, as if his patience had run out. As soon as Mo Qingyun's words fell, he clearly felt that Mo Qingyun's attacks had become fiercer. He actually held back his strength in the fight, just now. Although he had already guessed the result, Shao Qi still found it hard to accept it when he saw it with his own eyes. He was an expert in the peak soul stage of the Daluo Golden Celestial stage. How could he be defeated by someone in the Golden Celestial stage? Although he did not want to admit it, the truth was in front of him, and he had to accept it. Boom! A muffled sound was heard. Under Mo Qingyun's punch, Shao Qi's body was sent flying. As Shao Qi was sent flying, blood flowed from the corner of his mouth, and his face became as pale as paper. Brat, I admit that your body is very strong. Shao Qi steadied himself and fixed his dark eyes on Mo Qingyun. His expression gradually became ferocious as he said, but the real means of a golden celestial of the great all-embracing heaven is not in tempering the body, but in cultivating the soul. Now, I will show you the real means of a golden celestial of the great all-embracing heaven. Oh, is that so? The corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up slightly when he saw Shao Qi's reaction. He revealed a sliver of anticipation and said, if that's the case, then don't hold back. Otherwise, I won't be able to enjoy the battle later. Brat, take this. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was willing to have a soul battle with him, Shao Qi sneered, as if his evil plan had succeeded. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun's soul could not be equally strong with such a strong body. Soul seal of destruction. Shao Qi quickly formed a complicated seal with his hands and pointed it at his glabella. Immediately, the glabella of Shao Qi shone so brightly that no one could look directly at it. At the same time, a silver soul seal flew out from Shao Qi's glabella. Seeing Shao Qi's attack, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly, and a faint light flashed in his eyes. Ray! A black light flashed in Mo Qingyun's left eye, and a black line shot out toward the silver light seal. In the blink of an eye, the eye ray hit the silver light seal and instantly penetrated it. Crack! The silver light seal was penetrated, and it collapsed, emitting a crisp sound. This feeling was like a piece of glass that was pierced by a bullet. After the eye ray destroyed the silver light seal, its bombardment power did not decrease and continued to bombard Shao Qi. Without waiting for Shao Qi to express his shock, the eye ray blasted into his sea of consciousness and attacked it. Shao Qi was worthy of being a strong soul expert. His sea of consciousness was still very strong, like an endless wave. When the eye ray blasted into his sea of consciousness, it was like a bullet blasted into water, and his movement was greatly hindered. His sea of consciousness seems to be a little different. Mo Qingyun frowned slightly. and he was surprised to find that Xiaoqi's sea of consciousness was different from ordinary people. Under normal circumstances, a person's sea of consciousness would become wider and wider, but it would also become stronger and stronger. Xiaoqi's situation was the opposite. His sea of consciousness took the path of softening and became like a real sea. Interesting. Although his attack failed, Mo Qingyun was not disappointed and bombarded Xiaoqi's sea of consciousness again. Soul prison. Bombarding Xiaoqi's sea of consciousness again. Mo Qingyun did not use the tactic of fighting force with force. Instead, he surrounded Xiaoqi's sea of consciousness. Soon, a terrifying soul power blasted into Xiaoqi's sea of consciousness again, forming a huge soul net. What a strong soul power! Facing Mo Qingyun's soul power attack again, Xiaoqi was shocked, and a chill ran down his spine. This kid's soul power is almost as strong as a spirit transformation expert. How is this possible? While Xiaoqi was still in shock, the soul prison directly trapped Xiaoqi's sea of consciousness and tightly suppressed it. When Xiaoqi's sea of consciousness was suppressed, the soul hidden in his sea of consciousness felt as if it was being choked by the neck, and it was extremely painful. After a while, Xiaoqi's soul screamed and escaped from his body. There was no other way. If his soul did not escape, it would be crushed by Mo Qingyun's soul power. Looks like you've run out of tricks. Then the battle should end. Seeing Xiaoqi's soul escape, the corner of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up, and a ray of light shot out from his left eye. A beam of light shot out from his eyes and instantly struck Xiaoqi's soul, causing it to dissipate. After scattering Xiaoqi's soul, Mo Qingyun did not go to help Ao Li. Instead, he began to summarize the battle just now. Looking at it now, with my current shocking strength, if I don't use any of my abilities, I should be slightly stronger than a spirit tempering stage cultivator, but it shouldn't be too obvious. Not long after, Ao Li's battle also ended, leaving only one survivor. Master, how should we deal with this person? Ao Li captured a spirit transformation stage cultivator and came to Mo Qingyun, asking for Mo Qingyun's opinion. Mo Qingyun glanced at the man, but was not in a hurry to make a move. Instead, he said to Ao Li, "Take him with us first. I'll deal with him later." Chapter 1682. Whoosh! The cry of a crane was heard. The lightning cloud crane flapped its wings and flew thousands of miles away, disappearing into the horizon. Not long after, Mo Qingyun and his companion arrived at the foot of a mountain on their lightning cloud cranes. Plop! Landing at the foot of the mountain, Ao Li threw the man on the ground and stared at him coldly. Looking at Mo Qingyun and Mo Qingyun in front of him, this person was so scared that his body trembled. His face was filled with fear and panic as he said, What do you want? What do we want? Shouldn't you be the one asking this?" Mo Qingyun sneered, and his expression gradually turned cold. He turned to Ao Li and ordered, "Ao Li, control this man. I'll use a secret technique to steal his memory." "Yes, master." Hearing Mo Qingyun's order, Ao Li immediately nodded and took action to restrain this person. Demonic, soul-stealing eyes. While Ao Li was controlling the man, Mo Qingyun immediately used a divine ability to forcibly steal the man's memory. A terrifying soul force exploded from Mo Qingyun's eyes, forming a huge eye. When the huge eye was formed, it emitted a tearing force that sucked into man's soul. Ah! The man screamed as his soul was forcibly torn. His body trembled, and his face turned as pale as paper. Soon his soul was forcibly pulled out of his body. As his soul was pulled out of his body, the man's eyes immediately became empty, without a trace of light. What a domineering divine ability! Seeing Mo Qingyun's method, Ao Li's expression couldn't help but tremble. He was even more in awe of Mo Qingyun. The more he interacted with Mo Qingyun, the more he realized that Mo Qingyun was mysterious and extraordinary. While Ao Li was shocked, Mo Qingyun put on a solemn expression and began to forcibly read the man's memory. As Mo Qingyun was stealing the man's memory, his soul began to dissipate bit by bit. The man's soul began to dissipate, and the aura he emitted began to weaken. After about the time it took to brew a cup of tea, this person's memories and soul dissipated, and his aura also completely disappeared. Plop! As his soul completely dissipated, the man's body stiffened and fell forward. Mo Qingyun turned a blind eye to this person's death, and his expression became even colder. Master, what's wrong? Seeing that Mo Qingyun's expression wasn't right, Aoli tensed up and immediately asked Mo Qingyun, Tang Zhao's determination to kill me is much greater than I imagined. Mo Qingyun's face was cold as he replied to Aoli. Right now, the entire Divine Wasteland domain is covered with our wanted posters. Those wanted posters have our images on them, so it will not be easy to travel in the future. Then what should we do? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Aoli's face turned solemn, and his expression immediately tensed up. According to the current situation, as long as they walked out, they would immediately be noticed. It was fine if it happened once or twice, but if it continued for a long time, it wouldn't be a problem. More importantly, if they continued to be chased like this, their travel time would be delayed indefinitely. You're too conspicuous riding the lightning cloud crane. I can't let you travel anymore. After some thought, Mo Qingyun immediately made a decision. He felt that it was inappropriate to let Aoli travel. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Aoli's expression immediately changed. With a worried expression, he said, Master, if we let Lian Hong and the others travel, they might not be able to deal with a sudden situation. In Aoli's view, if he wasn't in charge of traveling, then he could only let Lian Hong and the others do it. No, I don't plan to let Lian Hong and the others travel. I've decided to ride the lightning cloud crane myself. Regarding Aoli's concerns, Mo Qingyun explained his plan in a deep voice. Master, you want to travel by yourself? Hearing Mo Qingyun's decision, Aoli's eyes widened, thinking that he had misheard. In his view, if Mo Qingyun traveled by himself, wouldn't it delay his cultivation time? Seeing the change in Aoli's expression, Mo Qingyun immediately guessed his thoughts. He explained, If I encounter trouble along the way, I won't be able to cultivate in peace. Since that's the case, it's better to let me travel by myself. But after hearing Mo Qingyun's analysis, Aoli's expression changed. It seemed that he wanted to say something. Without waiting for Aoli to speak, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and interrupted him. He said, I have some special abilities that can prevent others from tracking me. Therefore, it's more suitable for me to travel by myself. Mo Qingyun paused for a moment, looked at Aoli, and said, Besides, while I'm traveling, you can also follow by my side and deal with some breakthroughs. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Aoli didn't try to persuade him anymore. He felt that Mo Qingyun's words made sense. Then, Aoli's figure flashed, and he entered Mo Qingyun's soul palace. After putting Aoli into his soul palace, Missouri Qingyun leaped onto the lightning cloud crane's back. Then, Mo Qingyun rode the lightning cloud crane and rushed towards the heavenly soul demons. The lightning cloud crane flew extremely quickly. In the blink of an eye, it flew out of the mountain range and arrived in the sky above a city. Just as Mo Qingyun was about to pass through the city, he saw a group of powerful people patrolling the sky above the city. These people are patrolling the sky above the city. Are they trying to stop me? Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun's heart skipped a beat, and he instinctively had this thought. In his view, normal city patrols wouldn't patrol the sky above the city. Whether or not they are, I still have to be careful. After being chased time and time again, Mo Qingyun was already a little paranoid. No matter what, there was nothing wrong with being careful. Door of concealment. Mo Qingyun put away the lightning cloud crane and used the door of concealment to hide himself. Mo Qingyun's silhouette dissipated in midair. He flew towards these people, wanting to see what they were up to. Captain, the wild continent is vast and boundless. Is it really useful for us to wait here like this? It's not up to us to decide whether it's useful or not. We'll just be responsible for patrolling. Speaking of which, that Mo Qingyun is really not simple. He can actually make the young lord of the heavenly soul demons chase after him. What do you know? The young lord of the heavenly soul demons is chasing after Mo Qingyun. It must be because Mo Qingyun is a threat to him. As Mo Qingyun approached these people, their conversation entered Mo Qingyun's ears. Hearing these people's conversation, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately changed. His face turned cold as he said, "As expected, these people are patrolling in mid-air to intercept me. It seems that I still underestimated Teng Zhao's ability." Mo Qingyun calmed down. He didn't hesitate any longer and immediately flew towards the outskirts of the city. In a short while, Mo Qingyun was far away from the city and out of their surveillance area. After leaving the city's surveillance area, Mo Qingyun summoned the lightning cloud crane and continued on his way. Compared to the lightning cloud crane's flying speed, his flying speed was undoubtedly too slow. Not long after, a huge sea appeared in front of Mo Qingyun. In the sky above this sea area, there were gloomy black clouds drifting, flashing with terrifying lightning. According to the map's description, this sea should be the rolling lightning devil sea. Riding the lightning cloud crane into the sea, Mo Qingyun took out the map and compared it with his eyes. After confirming his direction, Mo Qingyun put away the map and continued on his journey on the lightning cloud crane. Boom, boom, boom. The rolling lightning devil sea lived up to its name. Just as he flew into the rolling lightning devil sea, lightning as thick as a water tank fell beside Mo Qingyun. Looking at the thunder and lightning in front of him, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He couldn't help but feel a lingering fear. He exclaimed, "What a terrifying thunder and lightning!" Judging from the power of this thunder and lightning, even a golden celestial of the great all-embracing heaven would be annihilated. Mo Qingyun sighed in his heart. He raised his guard and carefully rode the lightning cloud crane forward. The deeper he flew into the rolling lightning devil sea, the more violent the lightning became. The frequency of the lightning also increased. In some places, it even formed a lightning pool, covering an area with a diameter of 10,000 miles. Because of the interference of the lightning, Mo Qingyun's speed was greatly affected. "I can't go on like this. With my current speed, it will take me at least a few months to fly out of the rolling lightning devil sea." Seeing his current speed, Mo Qingyun's brows furrowed tightly, and his mood became somewhat irritable. Boom, boom. At this moment, when Mo Qingyun was feeling irritable, a loud sound suddenly came. Immediately, hundreds of terrifying lightning bolts fell from the sky above Mo Qingyun. Not good. I seem to have entered the lightning pool area. Looking at this situation, Mo Qingyun was shocked and felt a strong sense of unease. Judging from the situation before him, once he was hit by the lightning, his soul would be destroyed. Teleportation gate. Seeing that the situation was not right, Mo Qingyun did not dare to hesitate and immediately used his martial spirit super ability. A whirlpool-like light gate quickly gathered in front of Mo Qingyun and emitted a mysterious power. When the teleportation gate was formed, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and quickly rushed into the gate. When Mo Qingyun rushed into the teleportation gate, the lightning cloud crane was too late and was hit by a lightning bolt as thick as a water tank. After being hit by the lightning bolt, the lightning cloud crane let out a miserable cry and was instantly turned into ashes. Looking at the scene before him, Mo Qingyun, who had entered the teleportation gate, was so frightened that his pupils shrank. That was close. If he was half a step slower, he would have met the same fate as the lightning cloud crane. After a short while, Mo Qingyun's figure appeared in another place. His expression became even more serious. The lightning cloud crane was killed by the lightning. With my flying speed, it's absolutely impossible for me to travel through the lightning. Chapter 1683. Asterisk splash. Asterisk just as Mo Qingyun was pondering, the sound of waves could be heard from the rolling thunder devil sea. A girl in blue flew out from the bottom of the sea, her body emitting a dazzling golden light. The girl in blue flew out from the bottom of the sea. She turned into a ray of light and flew towards a lightning pool. Could it be that she wants to? Seeing the girl in blue's actions, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He guessed the girl's thoughts. If he was not wrong, the girl in blue wanted to use the power of lightning to temper her body. As expected, the blue-clothed girl flew to the vicinity of the lightning pool. She walked towards the lightning pool. Asterisk chi chi chi. Asterisk the girl in blue walked into the lightning pool, and the violent lightning bolts in the lightning pool bombarded the girl. What shocked Mo Qingyun was that when the lightning bolt struck the blue-clothed girl's body, it didn't cause her any harm. What a strong body! Mo Qingyun was shocked when he saw this, and he couldn't help but sigh with emotion. He thought that his body was already very strong, but it was far from the girl in blue. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun's eyes immediately lit up. He knew why the blue-clothed girl was different from ordinary people. This girl is only at the golden body sculpting realm. For her body to be so strong, it should be because of the tempering of a lightning pool. I am at the same realm as the girl. Why can't I use the lightning pool to temper my body like her? Thinking of this, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate. He planned to cultivate like the girl. He smiled faintly. Going to the Heavenly Soul Devil tribe is important, but increasing my strength is also important. Now that I have the chance to temper my body, it would be a pity if I don't use it. If this girl can do it, I can do it too. Mo Qingyun believed that with his absolute beginning blood's recovery ability, it would be easier for him to cultivate than the girl in blue. Then, Mo Qingyun looked around and walked towards a lightning pool. The power of the lightning in this lightning pool could be considered to be the weakest among the many lightning pools. To ensure his safety, Mo Qingyun did not choose the strongest lightning pool. He planned to slowly cultivate from the weakest lightning pool. Boom, boom, boom. The moment Mo Qingyun stepped into the lightning pool, the lightning in the lightning pool immediately went berserk and attacked him. Wounds immediately appeared on Mo Qingyun's body as he was bombarded by the lightning. Wounds appeared on Mo Qingyun's body, but the grand primordium fortune blood in his body immediately healed them. In just a short moment, the wounds on Mo Qingyun's body had completely disappeared. Of course, when the old wounds disappeared, the new ones would follow. Mo Qingyun did not care about this. He sat down cross-legged on the spot and endured the lightning strikes. It didn't make sense that a weak girl could bear this kind of pain, but he couldn't. Immediately after, Mo Qingyun's old wounds healed, and new ones appeared one after another. There's someone in the lightning pool. Mo Qingyun made use of the lightning to temper his body and caused quite a commotion. It immediately attracted the attention of the girl in blue. The girl in blue glanced at Mo Qingyun, and a mocking smile appeared on her lips. She said disdainfully, "Ridiculous. Seeing that I'm using the lightning to temper my body, you want to follow me. I'll see how you'll be turned into ashes by the lightning." The blue-clothed young lady sneered. She then closed her eyes and ignored Mo Qingyun by her side. In her opinion, it wouldn't be long before Mo Qingyun was reduced to ashes under the bombardment of lightning. Time passed by slowly. Mo Qingyun's physical strength increased bit by bit as he suffered the constant bombardment of lightning. Although this increase was not fast, it was much faster than using the power of incense to temper his body. More importantly, when Mo Qingyun used the power of incense to temper his body, he could also use the power of lightning to temper his body. In this way, Mo Qingyun's body had undergone a second round of tempering. Time always passed quickly during cultivation. In the blink of an eye, 10 days had passed. After 10 days of cultivation, the girl in blue finally could not hold on any longer and retreated from her cultivation. The girl in blue exited from her cultivation. She was obviously tired, and there were many injuries on her body. From this, it seemed that the continuous bombardment of lightning had exhausted her both physically and mentally. If this continued, she would be left with injuries that would be difficult to recover from. The girl in blue exited her cultivation. Her eyes unconsciously glanced at Mo Qingyun. When she saw that Mo Qingyun was still sitting on the ground like an old tree, enduring the lightning strikes, she said in shock, "He's still cultivating? This is his first time cultivating here. How can he last so long?" Mo Qingyun's current performance had shocked the blue-clothed girl quite a bit. Her previous understanding of him had been shattered. She clearly remembered that she had only lasted for 2 hours and was hailed as the #1 genius in the clan. At that time, she was complacent for such an achievement for a long time. Now that she thought about it, the gap between her and Mo Qingyun really wasn't small at all. I'd like to see how long you can last." Perhaps it was because her competitive spirit had been aroused. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, the girl pouted stubbornly. Immediately, the girl activated a magic treasure, which emitted an ethereal holy aura. This Dharma treasure was actually a quasi-saint artifact. The magic treasure flew out of the girl's hand and turned into a huge conch, which wrapped the girl in it. With the protection of the magic treasure, the surrounding lightning's corrosion on the girl was immediately reduced to the minimum. The girl in blue sat in the conch magic treasure and entered a state of cultivation to recover from the lightning strikes. Although the girl in blue was recovering from her injuries, her attention was always on Mo Qingyun. She wanted to know how long Mo Qingyun could last. A day passed, and Mo Qingyun did not move. 2 days passed, and Mo Qingyun was still the same. More than 10 days passed, and Mo Qingyun still did not move an inch. How is this possible? How can he last so long? Looking at Mo Qingyun's performance, the shock in the blue-clothed girl's heart immediately intensified. After more than 10 days of cultivation, her injuries were completely healed. Even so, she did not leave, nor did she continue to cultivate. Instead, she paid full attention to Mo Qingyun. She wanted to see how long this guy in front of her could last. The longer she waited, the more shocked the girl in blue was. Her view of Mo Qingyun changed. Now, her attitude towards Mo Qingyun was no longer one of mockery. Instead, there was endless admiration. A person who could last more than 20 days in his first cultivation in lightning was worthy of her admiration. Just like that, more than 10 days passed. At this moment, Mo Qingyun, who was cultivating, shook his head and stood up. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the girl in blue was shocked. She said with a shocked expression, "He can't take it anymore. This guy is too scary. It's his first time cultivating in the lightning pool, and he can last for a month." Thinking back to how long Mo Qingyun lasted, the girl in blue was shocked. She was extremely impressed with Mo Qingyun. However, at this moment, the girl in blue thought that Mo Qingyun could not take it anymore. Mo Qingyun's next move, however, stunned her. After a month of continuous cultivation, the lightning in this area can no longer cause any harm to my body. Mo Qingyun sighed. He walked towards the depths of the thunder pool, intending to endure even more powerful lightning strikes. After a while, Mo Qingyun walked for about 100 meters before he stopped. The lightning in this area could cause damage to his body. It was within his tolerance range. He's going to continue cultivating? Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the girl in blue felt dizzy. She felt like her brain was not enough. She originally thought that Mo Qingyun, like her, would not be able to take it anymore. Who knew that Mo Qingyun thought that the lightning was not strong enough and wanted to find a place with strong lightning to continue cultivating. This kind of action was too terrifying. Who's this guy? After seeing how extraordinary Mo Qingyun was, the girl in blue was extremely curious about Mo Qingyun's identity. Soon after, the blue-clothed girl began to cultivate in the conch magic treasure while paying attention to Mo Qingyun. The rest of the time passed by peacefully just like that. In the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed. In these 3 months, the girl in blue did not leave. She witnessed Mo Qingyun's growth. In the beginning, Mo Qingyun chose the place with the weakest lightning. Then, he changed the place with the strongest lightning. In the end, Mo Qingyun chose a place with lightning that surpassed the limits of the girl in blue. What caused the blue-clothed girl to vomit blood even more was that Mo Qingyun had been cultivating in the thunder pool for 4 months without even resting. This was far too insane. Hey, you have been cultivating for 4 months. Don't you find it boring? At this moment, the girl in blue could no longer hold it in. She asked Mo Qingyun. Hearing the girl in blue's question, Mo Qingyun's expression froze. He wanted to make sure that she was not talking to him. Seeing that the girl in blue was looking at him, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile. Of course it's boring. But in the face of great pressure and danger, I have no other choice. After Mo Qingyun spoke, he continued to walk into the lightning pool. He was ready to use the lightning to strengthen his body. What a strange person. Seeing what Mo Qingyun was doing, the girl in blue pouted. She was very curious about Mo Qingyun. At this moment, the blue-clothed girl was sizing up Mo Qingyun with curiosity. Suddenly, several silhouettes flew out from the bottom of the ocean and stopped beside the girl in blue. One of them said, "Lan Kuei, we found a ruin at the Strait of Mo. Do you want to come with us?" Strait of Mo? Ruin? Hearing these people's words, the girl in blue's eyes brightened. She was tempted. Chapter 1684. The blue-robed girl hesitated for a moment before deciding to call Mo Qingyun along. The blue girl's figure flashed and stopped near the thunder pool. She shouted at Mo Qingyun, who was in the thunder pool, "Hey, we found a ruin and need some helpers to go with us. Are you interested?" Ruin? Hearing the girl's words, Mo Qingyun stopped cultivating and turned to look at the blue-robed girl. He asked, "I don't know you. Why are you calling me along? Aren't you afraid that I'll try something?" From Mo Qingyun's point of view, he wasn't familiar with the blue-robed girl. For her to invite him to explore the ruin with her was a little too enthusiastic. Mo Qingyun couldn't help but be wary of the blue-clothed girl when it came to such matters. After all, it was hard to guess what the other person was thinking. Of course, Mo Qingyun's words were very subtle, and he didn't directly question the other party. Instead, he asked the blue-robed girl why she believed him and gave her a way out. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the blue-robed girl revealed a trace of displeasure. She glared at Mo Qingyun and said, "Humph. You and I have been cultivating in the lightning pool for almost half a year. Although we haven't spoken to each other, we have known each other for a long time. How can we be considered strangers?" Mo Qingyun was speechless. He couldn't refute the blue-robed girl. According to the blue-robed girl's words, he and the blue-robed girl were indeed familiar with each other. Seeing that Mo Qingyun didn't speak, the blue-clothed girl snorted arrogantly. She pouted unhappily and said, "You take my good intentions for ill intent. I invited you warmly, but you actually doubt my intentions." Hearing the blue-robed girl's words, Mo Qingyun's expression froze, and he couldn't help but feel a little ashamed. From the blue-robed girl's actions, she didn't seem like a scheming person. It seemed like she really invited Mo Qingyun. Seeing Mo Qingyun's bitter smile and not giving her an answer, the blue-clothed girl urged Mo Qingyun, "Hey, have you thought it through? Do you want to come with us? Since Miss has invited me like this, if I don't go, wouldn't I be too unappreciative?" Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He walked out of the lightning pool and accepted the blue-robed girl's invitation. Seeing Mo Qingyun arrive in front of her, the blue-clothed girl's expression turned for the better. She revealed a proud smile and said, "At least you know your place. You didn't waste my good intentions. Let's go." As soon as the blue-clothed girl finished speaking, she revealed a brilliant smile and flew towards her friends. Seeing the blue-clothed girl's actions, Mo Qingyun shook his head with a bitter smile and followed behind the blue-clothed girl. Of course, Mo Qingyun was quite fond of the blue-clothed girl's personality. There was no need to scheme when interacting with people like her. It was a very relaxing thing. Very quickly, Mo Qingyun and the blue-clothed girl arrived in front of her friends. Lan Kuei, who is this person? Seeing Mo Qingyun beside the blue-clothed girl, a man with blood-red eyes looked unkindly at Imo Chinyan. Brother Lan Quan, he's a new friend that I made when I was cultivating in the lightning pool. Hearing the man with blood-red eyes question, Lan Kuei gave a simple explanation of how she met Imo Chinyan to the crowd. After Lan Kuei finished speaking, an awkward smile appeared on her face. She blinked her bright eyes and asked, "That's right, I have known you for so long, but I still don't know your name." Everyone was speechless. How could they be considered friends when they didn't even know each other's names? Hearing Lan Kuei's question, Imo Chinyan smiled bitterly and said, "My name is Imo Chinyan." "All right, I don't care what your name is. Since Lan Kuei invited you, then come with us." A man with a long beard said impatiently as he waved his hand at Imo Chinyan. "Pang Su is right. We have already been delayed for a long time. Let's set off immediately." Hearing the man's words, everyone agreed and decided to head to the Jade Devil Strait immediately. Soon after, Imo Chinyan and the rest set off for the Jade Devil Strait. Bang, bang, bang. Lan Kuei and the others leaped directly into the rolling Thunder Devil Sea, stirring up waves after waves. In the blink of an eye, their figures disappeared from Imo Chinyan's sight. The Jade Devil Strait is at the bottom of the sea. Seeing the actions of Lan Kuei and the rest, Imo Chinyan was stunned. He was very surprised by this situation. It seemed that the Jade Devil Strait they were talking about was somewhere at the bottom of the sea. Imo Chinyan was stunned for a moment. He quickly followed and dived into the sea with the rest. As Imo Chinyan dived into the sea, he was shocked. His view of the world was refreshed. He didn't expect that there would be so many magnificent palaces and elegant courtyards at the bottom of the rolling lightning Devil Sea. It seemed that the tribes living at the bottom of the sea were no different from the tribes living on land. It seems that I knew too little about the world at the bottom of the sea. Imo Chinyan couldn't help but sigh. As Imo Chinyan dived deeper into the sea, the pressure of the seawater increased, making Imo Chinyan feel very uncomfortable. Domain Gate. In order to relieve the pressure of the seawater, Imo Chinyan used the Domain Gate to disperse the surrounding seawater. As the seawater was dispersed by Imo Chinyan's expression relaxed, and he felt much more comfortable. Hey, he actually dispersed the seawater. Could it be that he's not from a tribe at the bottom of the sea? Seeing Imo Chinyan's performance, Lan Kuei's beautiful eyes blinked and a trace of surprise appeared on her face. All along, Lan Kuei thought that Imo Chinyan's identity was a member of a tribe at the bottom of the sea. Judging from Imo Chinyan's situation, her guess seemed to be wrong. Imo Chinyan might be from a tribe on land. Immediately, Lan Kuei's figure moved and came to Imo Chinyan's side. She asked curiously, "Hey, you dispersed the seawater to the side. Could it be that you're not from a tribe at the bottom of the sea?" "Yes." Imo Chinyan didn't hide from Lan Kuei's inquiry. He nodded and said, "I'm from a tribe in the Divine Wasteland Domain. I was preparing to go to the Devil Wasteland Domain and just happened to pass by here." From the Divine Wasteland Domain to the Devil Wasteland Domain? Hearing Imo Chinyan's words, Lan Kuei's eyebrows immediately widened. Her face was full of shock. Although she lived in the rolling Thunder Devil Sea, she was still very clear about the distance between the two wasteland domains. Under normal circumstances, even an expert of the Golden Immortal stage would find it difficult to cross the two wasteland domains. Imo Chinyan, who was only at the Golden Body Formation stage, actually wanted to cross the two wasteland domains. It had to be said that his actions were very frightening. Do you know the distance between the two wasteland domains? With your flying speed, it will take at least a few decades to reach it. Lan Kuei's beautiful eyes widened as she asked Imo Chinyan one after another to vent the shock in her heart. "Of course I know." Imo Chinyan nodded. With an indifferent expression, he replied, "Mortals have always said that as long as I work hard, an iron pestle can be ground into a needle. I believe that as long as I can persevere, I will definitely be able to resist the Devil Wasteland Domain. It's just a matter of time." Imo Chinyan didn't explain the real situation, so as not to cause unnecessary trouble. Seeing Imo Chinyan think this way, Lan Kuei didn't say anything more. She admired Mo Qingyun even more. Knowing the distance between the two wasteland domains, Mo Qingyun was still able to put it into action. This was very admirable. Next, Lan Kuei chatted with Mo Qingyun, constantly asking about the matters on the land. For example, what fun things were there on the land, and what beautiful clothes were there on the land. In addition, Lan Kuei also asked Mo Qingyun if the cultivation talent of the people on the land was the same as Mo Qingyun. From this, it seemed that the cultivation talent that Mo Qingyun displayed had shocked Lan Kuei quite a bit. As a result, he had a great misconception about the cultivation talent of the people on the land. Although Mo Qingyun felt helpless towards Lan Kuei's questions, he still answered her one by one. On the way, while Mo Qingyun and Lan Kuei were talking, whenever they encountered any strange scenes or strange creatures, Lan Kuei would still introduce them to Mo Qingyun. Along the way, the two of them chatted quite happily. Lan Quan and the others didn't pay any attention to Mo Qingyun and Lan Kuei's actions and focused on hurrying along. Just like this, about 3 days later. Chapter 1685. Merman. Looking at the statue above the palace, Missouri Qingyun's expression was slightly shocked, a feeling of surprise welling up in his heart. He had heard some rumors about mermen before. This was a very ancient large race. Before the 10,000 ancient races roll appeared, they had once dominated the entire wasteland continent. Mermen had unique talents. They were born with the ability to control seawater and execute divine abilities that could overturn rivers and seas. Especially when cultivating water-type divine abilities, that speed was even more rapid, making all the races feel powerless. Rumor had it that when the wasteland continent was in its primitive state, 99% of the place was ocean. At that time, the land area was very small. The entire situation of the wasteland continent was completely dominated by the races of the ocean. Under such favorable conditions, with the mermen's terrifying talent, it was hard not to rule the wasteland continent, even if they did not want to. Unfortunately, as times continued to change, the oceans of the wasteland continent became less and less, and land became more and more. Such an unforeseen event caught the mermen clansmen unprepared. Losing their unique advantage, the mermen also lost their era of hegemony. But the matter did not end here. The merman race that once dominated the wasteland continent offended many races. As the saying went, everyone kicks a man who is down. The merman race's strength weakened. Some of the clansmen who were once oppressed naturally thought of ways to take revenge. Until one day, a revenge against the mermen completely erupted on the wasteland continent. After that battle, the merfolk completely disappeared from the wasteland continent. As for whether they were exterminated or hid in some place to recuperate like the Dark Devil race, that was something that no one knew. All in all, from these aspects, one could tell how old this ruin was. Merman? You can see the scene in the Jade Devil Strait, clearly? Hearing Mo Qingyun's surprised words, Lan Kuei opened her beautiful eyes wide, feeling somewhat incredulous about this. Her current performance. No one knew if she was surprised by Mo Qingyun's ability or surprised by how old this ruin was. At the same time, Lan Kuei's gaze when looking at Mo Qingyun also underwent a huge change. In response to Lan Kuei's question, Mo Qingyun did not deny it and directly nodded. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the blue flower horse was shocked. It said in surprise, "I am from the purple-eyed blood dragon race. My eyesight is far better than ordinary people's. Even I couldn't see the scene inside. I didn't expect you to be able to see it. What race are you?" It had to be said that Mo Qingyun's answer shocked Lan Kuei quite a bit. So much so that she, who had always been calm, actually asked about Mo Qingyun's secret. Heavenly soul demons. In response to Lan Kuei's question, Mo Qingyun replied with a faint smile, not intending to hide anything. Mo Qingyun felt that once he fought with others and used the power of his bloodline, his origin would be exposed. In that case, he had nothing to hide and might as well tell Lan Kuei directly. Heavenly soul demons. Hearing Mo Qingyun's answer, Lan Kuei's eyes immediately widened. She showed some frustration and said, "So you're from a race like that? No wonder your eyesight is better than mine and your cultivation talent is so shocking." Mo Qingyun only smiled faintly in response to Lan Kuei's reaction. He did not say anything. Lan Kuei was not a sentimental person. After a brief moment of frustration, her eyes lit up. She said, "Since you can see the scene inside clearly, tell us the situation inside in detail." "All right." Mo Qingyun nodded and agreed to Lan Kuei's request. Afterwards, Mo Qingyun described the situation inside the Jade Devil Strait to everyone in detail. Lan Kuei and the others were all surprised when they heard Mo Qingyun's description. They were filled with anticipation for the remains. If it really was as Mo Qingyun had said, there would definitely be countless treasures in the remains. Time slowly passed. About 5 days later, the bubbles in the Jade Devil Strait stopped coming out. As the bubbles stopped coming out, the scene in the canyon gradually became clear. When Lan Kuei and the others looked at the canyon, they all became excited. It really was as Mo Qingyun had said. This is the remains of the merfolk, a remnant from before the 10,000 ancient races. The merfolk once ruled over the desolate continent. There must be countless treasures in their remains. We're going to be rich this time. If I can obtain a sane artifact, I'll be able to change my fate. Everyone in the surroundings became excited when they saw the remains of the merfolk before them. Greed appeared in their eyes. However, although everyone was excited, no one dared to act rashly. They charged into the Jade Devil Strait. "Miss Lan Kuei, the remains have already appeared. Why isn't anyone doing anything?" Mo Qingyun was puzzled when he saw the situation before him. He asked Lan Kuei, who was beside him. Lan Quan, who was beside Lan Kuei, had a solemn expression when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He said, "According to the people who discovered this place, one must ride on the merfolk's tear to enter the remains of the merfolk. Otherwise, once one approaches the remains of the merfolk, one will be killed by a powerful force." "I see." Mo Qingyun had an enlightened expression. He understood the reason behind it, and the doubts in his heart were answered. No wonder these guys were like wolves and tigers, but did not dare to enter the remains of the merfolk. Another incense stick of time passed. Just as everyone was anxiously waiting, milky white light spots flew out from the remains of the merfolk. The merfolk's tear had appeared. Everyone became excited when they saw the milky white light spots. They all sharpened their weapons. Soon, the merfolk's tear flew out of the remains and stopped outside the remains of the merfolk. Everyone was excited when they saw this scene. They quickly flew toward the merfolk's tear. "Get lost! The merfolk's tear is mine. Whoever dares to snatch the merfolk's tear from me, I'll let him die a horrible death." You're courting death. In a short while, everyone's eyes turned red, and they started fighting over the merfolk's tear. Mo Qingyun turned to look at Lan Kuei when he saw this scene. He wanted to know what they were thinking. Lan Kuei and the rest ignored Mo Qingyun's gaze. They frowned and looked at Bao Feng and the rest. It seemed that they were very wary of Bao Feng and the rest. These guys were all covered in scales and had thick skin. They were not easy to deal with. Amidst the intense competition, there were people who were constantly being killed, and their divine souls were completely destroyed. However, this situation did not deter them. Instead, it made them even crazier. The merfolk's tear is no longer increasing. After about 15 minutes, Mo Qingyun frowned and reminded Lan Kuei and the rest, "It seems that we can't wait any longer. Otherwise, once the merfolk's tear is taken away, we won't be able to enter the remains of the merfolk. Let's go." Lan Quan and the rest did not hesitate when they heard Mo Qingyun's words. They immediately rushed toward the merfolk's tear. When they went to fight for the merfolk's tear, Mo Qingyun put on a solemn expression and told Lan Kuei, "When we fight for the merfolk's tear, don't be too far away from me. I'll help you fight for a merfolk's tear." "Okay." Lan Kuei was overjoyed when she heard Mo Qingyun's words. She smiled and followed behind Mo Qingyun. Lan Quan was displeased when he saw Mo Qingyun and Lan Kuei moving forward. He said, "Kid, we brought you along. I hope you won't drag Lan Kuei down." "Clan brother Lan Quan, he's not dragging me down. He's prepared to take care of me." Lan Kuei immediately explained when she saw that Lan Quan had misunderstood Mo Qingyun. She hoped that Lan Quan would change his impression of Mo Qingyun. Lan Quan's expression improved slightly when he heard Lan Kuei's explanation. However, he still said coldly, "Kid, if anything happens to Lan Kuei, I'll definitely hold you accountable." It was clear that Lan Quan did not believe that Mo Qingyun had the ability to protect Lan Kuei. With that, Lan Quan no longer paid any attention to Mo Qingyun. He focused on guarding against the people around him. Under these circumstances, he did not dare to split his attention and pay attention to Mo Qingyun and Lan Kuei. This was because if he was careless, he could be ambushed by the people around him and end up doomed. Perhaps because they were worried that Mo Qingyun would drag them down, Lan Quan and the others purposely flew into the distance and distanced themselves from Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun sighed and shook his head when he saw Lan Quan and the others' actions. He said, "Your clan brother and the others have distanced themselves from me. I'm afraid that I won't be able to take care of them later." In Mo Qingyun's eyes, Lan Quan and the others' actions were completely gauging the stature of a gentleman. He could not be blamed for this. Lan Kuei glanced at Lan Quan and the others when she heard Mo Qingyun's words. She withdrew her gaze and said, "Don't worry. With clan brother Lan Quan and the others' strength, they won't be in any danger. There's only that girl Lan Kuei. Let's take care of her first." Bao Feng revealed a sinister smile when he saw Lan Kuei beside Mo Qingyun. He flew over with his men. Not long after, Bao Feng and the others surrounded Mo Qingyun and Lan Kuei, each of them revealing a mocking smile. In their eyes, Mo Qingyun and Lan Kuei were basically dead meat now that they had surrounded them. "Bao Feng, if you dare to touch Lan Kuei, I will annihilate your Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe." Lan Quan's expression turned cold when he saw Bao Feng's actions. He angrily shouted at Bao Feng. Bao Feng clearly did not take Lan Quan's words to heart. He sneered, "Lan Quan, I, Bao Feng, am not a coward. If you have the ability, then come and fight me." Bao Feng sneered after replying to Lan Quan. He glanced at Mo Qingyun and said, "Kid, this has nothing to do with you. If you know what's good for you, then scram to the side so that you don't lose your life in vain." Although Mo Qingyun's cultivation level was not high, Mo Qingyun's aura made Bao Feng's heart palpitate. When this feeling appeared, Bao Feng immediately became wary of Mo Qingyun. He did not dare to act rashly against Mo Qingyun. The corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth rose slightly when he heard Bao Feng's words. He smiled faintly and said, "Don't say that I didn't give you a chance. If you retreat now, I can forgive your offense." With Mo Qingyun's current strength, it was too easy for him to deal with Bao Feng and the others. Chapter 1686. You're not even fully grown, and you want to threaten us? I, Bao Feng, won't fall for your tricks. Hearing Mo Qingyun's cold words, Bao Feng's face darkened, and he scolded Mo Qingyun. As soon as Bao Feng's words fell, he led his men to surround Mo Qingyun, intending to start with Mo Qingyun. Seeing Bao Feng and the others' actions, Lan Kuei was shocked and immediately whispered to Mo Qingyun, "They outnumber us. I'm afraid the two of us are no match for them. Why don't we avoid them for the time being?" "Don't worry, it's just a little bug." Hearing Lan Kuei's worried words, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and looked at Bao Feng coldly, saying, "Since you're courting death, I'll fulfill your wish." Devil Fist, shattering the Star River. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he threw a punch at Bao Feng and the others, exuding a terrifying aura. A soul-stirring immortal spiritual power gathered on Mo Qingyun's fist like a dancing devil shadow. As soon as the fist radiance was thrown out, it grew rapidly and soon became the size of a small mountain. Under the crushing force of the fist radiance, the surrounding seawater was immediately dispersed, emitting a series of explosive sounds. This scene gave people the feeling that the surrounding spatial enchantment could not withstand Mo Qingyun's punch. So strong. Sensing the power of Mo Qingyun's punch, Lan Kuei's pretty face was immediately shocked, and she said in surprise, "With the power of his punch, even a Daluo Golden Celestial expert would not be able to withstand it easily. Is he really in the Golden Celestial Realm?" Lan Kuei was also in the Golden Celestial Realm. She suddenly realized that the gap between her and Mo Qingyun was too big. This person is too strong. He's not someone we can deal with. Retreat quickly. It turns out that Lan Quan and the others have found powerful helpers. No wonder they're so fearless. Damn it, he hit it so well. Seeing the rapidly approaching fist radiance, the expressions of Bao Feng and the others changed greatly. They hurriedly turned around and fled for their lives. However, the speed at which they fled was a little too slow compared to the speed at which the fist light chased after them. Not long after, Bao Feng and the others were caught up and swallowed by the fist light. After being hit by Mo Qingyun's punch, Bao Feng and the others immediately let out a blood-curdling scream as their bodies flew backwards. When Bao Feng and the rest were sent flying, the bodies of some of the weaker people were annihilated into dust in the blink of an eye. Golden Dragon shedding its shell. Facing Mo Qingyun's punch, Bao Feng did not dare to hold back and immediately used a secret technique. Then, Bao Feng's figure flashed and escaped from the fist radiance. He said malevolently, "Brat, I'll remember this. Just wait for my revenge." As soon as Bao Feng finished speaking, he disappeared and left Mo Qingyun's line of sight. Looking at Bao Feng's disappearing figure, Mo Qingyun's expression was incomparably calm, without the slightest fluctuation in his emotions. As for Bao Feng's revenge, he did not care at all. Compared to Bao Feng's threat, Tang Xiao, who was far away in the Heavenly Soul Demon clan, was undoubtedly a more terrifying threat to him. One punch. Dozens of Golden Celestial Stage experts were all sent flying and their souls scattered. Looking at the power of Mo Qingyun's punch, Lan Kuei and the others widened their eyes. They were stunned by Mo Qingyun's strength. So powerful. Looking at Mo Qingyun beside her, Lan Kuei was so shocked that her delicate body trembled. She had a new understanding of Mo Qingyun's strength. Compared to Lan Kuei's shock, Lan Quan and the others were undoubtedly more shocked in their hearts. This brat, is he really in the Golden Celestial Stage? Even the Tai Xian Celestial Stage is only SOSO, right? Seeing Mo Qingyun's strength, Lan Quan and the others were so frightened that their faces twitched. They were in awe of Mo Qingyun and said, "It turns out that what this brat said just now is not nonsense. He really has the strength to protect us." Thinking of their thoughts just now, Lan Quan and the others blushed and immediately felt ashamed. Mo Qingyun wanted to protect them out of kindness, but he actually doubted Mo Qingyun's strength. He was really gauging the heart of a gentleman with his own mean measure. Let's go. After killing Bao Feng and the others with one punch, Mo Qingyun instructed Lan Kuei and flew toward one of the mermaid's tears. Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Lan Kuei and the others did not hesitate and immediately flew toward one of the mermaid's tears. Seeing Mo Qingyun's powerful strength, everyone was fearful of Mo Qingyun and did not dare to compete with him for the mermaid's tears. What a joke, killing dozens of Golden Celestial Stage experts with one punch. Such a person was not someone they could provoke. Without being stopped, Mo Qingyun and the others quickly took the mermaid's tears and flew toward the mermaid ruins. Although Mo Qingyun was surprised by such a situation, he did not reject it. It was naturally a good thing to be able to easily get the mermaid's tears. It could save him a lot of trouble. As they flew toward the mermaid ruins, transparent bubbles appeared in front of Mo Qingyun and the others. In these bubbles, there were images of the mermaids, recording the glory days of the mermaid race. Looking at the images in these bubbles, Mo Qingyun was shocked and could not help but yearn for them. He could not help but think that he was a mermaid and was experiencing the glory days of the mermaid race. While Mo Qingyun was watching the video, a wondrous melody was transmitted into his mind. Hearing this wonderful rhythm, Mo Qingyun quickly regained consciousness and gradually became drowsy. It was as if a strong wave of tiredness was growing in his heart. Buzz! When Mo Qingyun's mind was drowsy, the light gate martial spirit suddenly trembled and emitted a mysterious power. Under the influence of this power, Mo Qingyun's mind was awakened, and he was no longer affected by the rhythm. I did not expect this rhythm to be able to drowse one's consciousness and cause one to fall into a deep sleep. When Mo Qingyun regained consciousness, he felt a lingering fear and became more vigilant toward the mermaid ruins. Judging from the current situation, there would probably be more dangers in the merfolk ruins. When Mo Qingyun was on guard, he looked at Lan Kuei and the others and realized that they were the same as him. Mo Qingyun's expression turned solemn when he saw that Lan Kuei and the others had lost their minds. He immediately shouted at Lan Kuei and the others, "Lan Kuei, quickly restrain your minds. Don't let the music affect your minds." Lan Kuei and the others hadn't sunk too deep into their consciousness. Mo Qingyun's shout woke them up one by one. When Lan Kuei and the others regained consciousness, they were all frightened, and there was a lingering fear in their hearts. Fortunately, Mo Qingyun had woken them up. Otherwise, they would not know what would have happened to them. Thank you. After receiving Mo Qingyun's help again, Lan Quan and the others' attitude toward Mo Qingyun changed drastically. They knew very well that if Mo Qingyun hadn't woken them up this time, they might have died here. Not to mention that Mo Qingyun had woken them up. Just Bao Feng and the others from before were enough to give them a headache. Everyone, be careful. This mermaid ruins is not simple. It seems like it is not a blessed land. After seeing the strangeness of the mermaid ruins, Mo Qingyun's expression tensed up and he became alert. When they heard Mo Qingyun's warning, Lan Quan and the others did not dare to be careless, and they were all alert of their surroundings. They did not encounter any more danger on the way. It was nothing more than the image bubbles and the bewitching music. Now that Mo Qingyun and the others were somewhat on guard, the music that could confuse one's mind was completely ineffective. After about the time it took to brew a cup of tea, Mo Qingyun and the others rode on the mermaid tiers and arrived at the mermaid ruins. When they walked into the mermaid ruins, an ancient and vicissitude aura rushed toward Mo Qingyun and the others. At the same time, a terrifying bloodline pressure suddenly descended on Mo Qingyun and the others. Pucci, under the bloodline pressure, Lan Kuei and the others spat out blood, and their faces became paler. Seeing Lan Kuei and the others, Mo Qingyun frowned and hurriedly asked Lan Kuei and the others, "What's wrong?" When they heard Mo Qingyun's question, Lan Quan and the others were shocked. They looked at Mo Qingyun in disbelief and said, "Didn't you feel the bloodline pressure in the mermaid ruins?" Although there's bloodline pressure, I don't know if it affects me. Mo Qingyun did not hide it and answered Lan Quan honestly. Lan Kuei was not surprised when she heard Mo Qingyun's answer. She explained, "Brother Lan Quan, Mr. Mo is a heavenly soul demon. His bloodline level is much higher than mine. The bloodline pressure of the mermaid ruins has no effect on him." You're from the heavenly soul demon race? When he heard Lan Kuei's words, Lan Quan was shocked again. He was very surprised by this situation. From what had just happened, he could see that Mo Qingyun was extraordinary. However, he did not expect Mo Qingyun's background to be so frightening. After knowing Mo Qingyun's background, Lan Quan was no longer surprised as to why Mo Qingyun was not affected. With Mo Qingyun's heavenly soul demon race bloodline, it was not inferior to the mermaid bloodline. It was normal that he did not fear the bloodline pressure of the mermaid ruins. "How are you? Can you still go deeper?" Glancing at Lan Quan and the others, Mo Qingyun asked about their situation. Don't worry. Lan Quan and the others shook their heads, indicating that Mo Qingyun did not need to worry. This place is very strange. Follow me closely later. When he heard Lan Quan and the others' response, Mo Qingyun's expression became clear. He said to them seriously. After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he flew forward and began to search for treasures in the ruins. The ruins were very large. However, most of the places had become ruins. From the ruins of the palaces, one could see how powerful and glorious the mermaid ruins had been. Mr. Mo, look at those people. They seem to be summoned by something. When Mo Qingyun and the others were flying, Lan Kuei was shocked. She raised her hand and pointed at a group of people who were in a daze. Seeing these people's reactions, Mo Qingyun frowned. He said to Lan Kuei and the others, "Let's go and take a look." After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he flew towards those people. He wanted to see what was causing trouble. Vanishing shadow, rushing thunderwind Dao, illusory void star position. Seeing that the mermaid was attacking him, Mo Qingyun did not dare to be careless. He immediately increased his speed to the maximum. Then, Mo Qingyun also turned into a stream of light and flew towards the depths of the mermaid's ruins. However, although Mo Qingyun's flying speed was fast, there was still a gap between him and the mermaid. As time passed, the distance between Mo Qingyun and the mermaid was shortened bit by bit. No, if this goes on, she will catch up to me soon. Seeing that the mermaid was getting closer and closer, Mo Qingyun's mind spun quickly. He thought to himself, this mermaid has just entered the grand unity mystic immortal realm. I am not completely powerless in front of her. After thinking about this, Mo Qingyun's fear of the mermaid immediately decreased. Earlier, with Lan Kuei and the others around, he could not display his full strength. Now, he did not have to worry about this. Then, a strong fighting spirit was emitted from Mo Qingyun's body. Since Mo Qingyun had decided to fight the mermaid, he stopped running and stopped to confront the mermaid. Kid, why don't you continue to run? Seeing that Mo Qingyun was no longer running for his life, the mermaid smiled sinisterly and said, You use your own life in exchange for the lives of others. You are a person who values friendship. Since that is the case, I will give you a chance. From now on, be the servant of the sky-swallowing mermaid king. Run? Why should I run? Hearing the mermaid's words, Mo Qingyun's lips curled up slightly. With an indifferent expression, he said, As for becoming your servant, I am even less interested. Kid, you are courting death. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had rejected his offer, the King Devourer immediately shouted angrily, and a murderous aura was emitted from his body. Swallowing Ice Dragon. The King Devourer pointed his finger and manipulated the surrounding seawater to form a huge ice dragon. When the ice dragon was formed, it carried a wave of seawater and swallowed Mo Qingyun. When the ice dragon attacked, the surrounding seawater constantly froze and emitted a terrifying chill. So powerful! Facing the King Devourer's attack, Mo Qingyun's expression was shocked. He was fearful of the King Devourer's strength. This kind of strength was not what he had imagined at all. Aoli had also just entered the Tai mystic immortal realm. The difference in strength between him and the King Devourer was too great. This King Devourer is too powerful. He is not someone I can fight against. With a clear understanding of the gap between himself and the King Devourer, Mo Qingyun knew that he had overestimated himself. Knowing that he was no match for him, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately decided to continue running for his life. Teleportation Gate. A whirlpool-like light gate instantly appeared beside Mo Qingyun and sucked Mo Qingyun into it. Then, the light gate disappeared along with Mo Qingyun. He ran away. Seeing that Mo Qingyun's figure had disappeared, the King Devourer's expression was shocked. He was very surprised by this situation. After a short moment of shock, the King Devourer's expression became joyful. He laughed sinisterly and said, "That aura just now seemed to be the aura of the Gate of Destinies. I didn't expect to encounter such a reward when I just woke up. Kid, you can't escape." The King Devourer's tail flapped, and his figure appeared thousands of miles away. He continued to chase after Mo Qingyun. When the King Devourer was chasing after Mo Qingyun was thousands of miles away. With a lingering expression, he said, "This King Devourer's background must be very extraordinary. Otherwise, with her cultivation in the Tai mystic immortal realm, she could not be so powerful." Just now, when Mo Qingyun faced the King Devourer, he was even more depressed than when he faced Qian Linglong. After all, Qian Linglong's cultivation had reached the Sage-to-Be realm. If this was the case, this King Devourer was too frightening. Could it be that the King Devourer is an old monster from before the 10,000 ancient tribes? When this thought appeared in Mo Qingyun's mind, he was immediately frightened and found it hard to accept. If that was the case, the King Devourer's background was too frightening. No, this King Devourer is too dangerous. I have to leave the Merman ruins immediately. Recalling the horror of the King Devourer, Mo Qingyun did not dare to stay any longer. He decided to leave the Merman ruins immediately. As for the treasures in the Merman ruins, Mo Qingyun had no interest in them at all. Mo Qingyun knew very well that with the King Devourer here, he would not be allowed to search for treasures in peace. Immediately, Mo Qingyun did not stay any longer and immediately rushed out of the Merman ruins. The hidden door. To prevent himself from being discovered, Mo Qingyun used the hidden door to hide his figure and aura. Mo Qingyun rushed all the way and did not dare to stay any longer. He flew directly to the exit of the Merman ruins. When Mo Qingyun arrived at the exit of the Merman ruins, his whereabouts were discovered by the King Devourer. The aura of the Gate of Creation. It seems that this kid is using the power of the Gate of Creation to avoid my pursuit. Unfortunately, he miscalculated. Kid, the Gate of Creation is not for you to use like that. You should obediently hand it over to me." The King Devourer smirked. He swung his fishtail and continued to chase after Mo Qingyun. Outside the Merman ruins. Phew, I finally left. Coming out of the Merman ruins, Mo Qingyun's expression relaxed. He felt that he had escaped from the King Devourer. Thump, thump, thump. However, before Mo Qingyun could calm down, a terrifying sense of danger grew in his heart. A strong sense of danger grew in his heart. Mo Qingyun immediately guessed that the King Devourer had caught up. Immediately, Mo Qingyun did not dare to hesitate. His body turned into an afterimage and left. Not long after Mo Qingyun left, the King Devourer arrived outside the Merman ruins. He revealed a sinister smile and said, "This kid is cunning. He actually came out of the Merman ruins. Although it will be troublesome to track him down, it has become more interesting." Merman, run, run. The Merman is resurrected. When the people in the Merman ruins saw the King Devourer in front of them, they were all horrified. Immediately, these people did not dare to stay and immediately flew into the distance. Seeing that these people wanted to escape, the King Devourer sneered and directly opened his mouth towards these people. A terrifying whirlpool appeared in front of the King Devourer, emitting a terrifying suction force. Under this suction force, these people who were preparing to escape were all sucked in. Roar! After capturing these people who were escaping, the King Devourer opened his mouth and swallowed them all, chewing. If Mo Qingyun was here and saw the King Devourer's action, he would be even more terrified. After eating some snacks, it's time to continue chasing that kid. The King Devourer licked his lips and revealed a faint smile. His figure flashed and swam forward. After coming out of the Merman ruins, Mo Qingyun's figure did not stop and continued to escape in the direction of the Devil Wasteland domain. There were countless experts in the Devil Wasteland domain. As long as he escaped into the Devil Wasteland domain, he would be able to intimidate the King Devourer. As for returning to the Divine Wasteland domain and even asking for Qian Linglong's help, Mo Qingyun was unwilling. Now that there was the hidden danger of the dark demon race in the 1,000 illusions, it was already a headache for Qian Linglong. If she brought another king devourer, she would be distracted to deal with him. She was afraid that the dark demon race would have an opportunity to take advantage of. As Mo Qingyun continued to escape, the sense of danger from before gradually weakened. Chapter 1688. The turtle spirit foresight can foresee the future. I wonder if it can foresee the king devourer's whereabouts. After getting rid of the king devourer's pursuit, Mo Qingyun had an idea. He immediately used the turtle spirit foresight. A strong immortal spiritual power gathered outside Mo Qingyun's body, forming a huge tortoise shell. Not long after the tortoise shell formed, a hazy image appeared in front of Mo Qingyun. After watching the entire process of the image, Mo Qingyun's expression turned grave. He felt a lingering fear. He didn't expect the king devourer to be able to chase him all the way through the light gate martial spirit's aura. Fortunately, he knew the turtle spirit foresight and had foreseen some things in the future. He had discovered the king devourer's method. Otherwise, if he had been using the light gate martial spirit to escape, it would have been terrifying. The king devourer can sense the light gate martial spirit's aura and discover my escape route. I can't use the light gate martial spirit anymore. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, Mo Qingyun decided that he wouldn't use the light gate martial spirit's power unless it was absolutely necessary. After making up his mind, Mo Qingyun didn't stay any longer. He immediately fled into the distance. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed a few times. He was thousands of miles away, entering a group of blood-red seamounts. Among these blood-red seamounts, there were some undersea god tribes with huge pincers patrolling the area. This is the territory of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe. Seeing these undersea god tribes, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He didn't expect to accidentally enter Bao Feng's tribe. Just as Mo Qingyun was feeling surprised, an Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe member shouted at him coldly. "Who are you? Sneaking into the territory of our Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe. Are you up to no good?" After this, Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp questioned Mo Qingyun. He led his people to surround Mo Qingyun. Seeing that his escape route was blocked, Mo Qingyun's expression turned grave. He was on guard against any sudden attacks. Don't you guys realize that this kid looks a little familiar? It's him. That person who injured young Master Bao Feng. I didn't expect him to come knocking on my door. Capture him immediately. Don't let him escape. The Iron Dragon Blood Prawns chatted for a while before they recognized Mo Qingyun. They immediately attacked Mo Qingyun. "Oh no, we've been recognized." Seeing the actions of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe, Mo Qingyun was startled, and a strong uneasiness arose in his heart. One king devourer was enough to give him a headache. If the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp clansmen were to deal with them, it would be even more troublesome. Devil Fist, Shattering Star River. Facing the encirclement of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe, Mo Qingyun did not dare hesitate and immediately punched out. A surge of violent, immortal spiritual energy gathered on Mo Qingyun's fist, emitting a terrifying demonic aura. Black fist radiance formed, and like a meteor, it blasted towards the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe. These Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribesmen's cultivation was not particularly strong. They were only at the Golden Immortal stage. With their cultivation, they naturally could not withstand Mo Qingyun's punch. Bang, bang, bang. Facing Mo Qingyun's punch, the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribesmen were instantly sent flying. After sending the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribesmen flying, Mo Qingyun's footsteps did not stop, and he immediately fled to the side. In the moment when he had attacked, Mo Qingyun had sensed several Tai Xian Immortal Stage auras from the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe. Facing so many Tai Xian Immortal Stage experts, Mo Qingyun did not dare to be careless and stay in the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe for too long. If he was besieged by the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe's experts and was pursued by the King Devourer, he would really be done for. When Mo Qingyun was fleeing, some of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe's experts were immediately alerted. What's going on? A man with huge black pincers questioned the people around him with a gloomy face. His body was emitting a strong aura. Judging from this man's aura, his cultivation should not be too different from A.O. Li's. He was an expert who had just entered the Tai Xian Immortal stage. Lord Baoyong, the person who severely injured young Master Baofeng, has just come to our tribe and seriously injured us. Hearing Baoyong's question, everyone revealed a fearful expression and quickly reported the situation to Baoyong. What? That lad still dares to provoke us? Baoyong's face turned ugly when he heard the man's report. He said angrily, "This is too much. If we don't teach him a lesson, he will really think that our Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe is easy to bully." Immediately passed down the order to seal off the area of the Iron Cage Blood Sea. After learning about Mo Qingyun's arrogant behavior, Baoyong's face darkened. He issued a wanted order and said, "Lad, I will set up an inescapable net to hunt you down. I want to see how you can escape." Soon, the people of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe began to encircle the surrounding sea area. Mo Qingyun was naturally unaware of the movements of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe. What he was thinking now was to leave the rolling Thunder Demon Sea as soon as possible and reach the Devil Wasteland domain. However, the terrain at the bottom of the sea was not like on land. There were some distinguishable places. At the bottom of the sea, it was basically the same everywhere. If it was not a sea valley, then it was a sea mountain. Gradually, Mo Qingyun realized that he had lost his way and did not know where he was. This can't go on. I have to get a map of the rolling Thunder Demon Sea. Otherwise, it will be difficult for me to leave the rolling Thunder Demon Sea. Realizing that he had lost his way, Mo Qingyun sighed inwardly and could not help but feel a headache. Although he had lost his way, Mo Qingyun did not stop. Instead, he continued to fly forward. Mo Qingyun's idea was very simple. He wanted to walk this path until he reached a dead end. He would definitely encounter one or two living people. At that time, he would be able to ask them about the terrain of the rolling Thunder Demon Sea. He did not know whether Mo Qingyun's luck was good or bad. Not long after, he encountered a group of living people who were searching carefully. That's right, these people were from the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe. They were searching carefully for Mo Qingyun. That brat is over there. Let's capture them immediately. When they saw Mo Qingyun in front, the people of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe immediately charged at Mo Qingyun. Not only that, but these Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp people did not forget to call for help as they surrounded Mo Qingyun. When they heard these people's calls, the people searching for Mo Qingyun in the surroundings immediately converged. I can't get tangled up with them. I have to end this quickly. Mo Qingyun knew very well that if he got tangled up with them, he would end up with a huge headache. Mo Qingyun put on a solemn expression as he watched the people of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe attack him. Then, he immediately charged at them. Mo Qingyun had not thought about letting A.O. Li make a move yet. Now that he could not use his light gate martial soul, A.O. Li was his trump card. He could not reveal it easily. If the people of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe knew that he had a grand unity mysterious immortal by his side, the situation would be different. Thus, unless he encountered an extremely dangerous situation, he definitely could not reveal A.O. Li's existence. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and appeared in front of a group of weaker people. He threw a punch at them without hesitation. A black fist radiance that was comparable to a small mountain dispersed the seawater in front of him and blasted towards the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe. Bang! 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 After being blasted by Mo Qingyun's punch, the people of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe were instantly sent flying. After sending the people of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe flying, Mo Qingyun's footsteps did not stop. He immediately passed by them. Then, Mo Qingyun sped away, shaking off the people of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe. Before long, The people of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe chasing after Mo Qingyun were finally shaken off completely. Although he had shaken off the people of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe, Mo Qingyun was completely lost. Now, he had no direction at all. He really did not know how to proceed. Helpless, Mo Qingyun could only move forward slowly and pray that he would encounter an undersea god tribe member. About 2 hours later, rows of resplendent crystalline palaces appeared before Mo Qingyun's eyes. When he saw these resplendent palaces, Mo Qingyun was ecstatic. He had finally encountered an undersea god tribe member. However, after his previous experience, Mo Qingyun was much more careful this time and did not approach those palaces rashly. When Mo Qingyun approached the palaces, he was surprised to see a familiar figure appear before him. It's her. Seeing the beautiful figure in front of him, Mo Qingyun's expression lit up, and he was pleasantly surprised. This beautiful figure was the young lady in blue from before, Lan Kuei. When Mo Qingyun discovered Lan Kuei also saw Mo Qingyun. She smiled brightly and said, "Mr. Mo, it's great that you're all right." After saying this, Lan Kuei immediately swam towards Mo Qingyun and arrived in front of Mo Qingyun. "Sorry for making you worry, Miss Lan Kuei." Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and replied to Lan Kuei. Now that he saw Lan Kuei, Mo Qingyun's worries were completely gone. He believed that with Lan Kuei's help, he would definitely be able to obtain the map of the rolling Thunder Devil Sea. "Mr. Mo, please don't say that." Lan Kuei looked ashamed and looked at Mo Qingyun gratefully. She said, "If you had not lured the merman away, my people and I would not have been able to escape. Speaking of which, we should thank you. Mr. Mo, let's not stand here. Come with me to sit in the clan." After exchanging some pleasantries with Mo Qingyun, Lan Kuei pulled Mo Qingyun and swam towards those palaces. After a while, under Lan Kuei's lead, Mo Qingyun walked into one of the palaces. In this palace, there were many Daiyuo Golden Celestials and Tai Xian Celestials. When everyone saw Mo Qingyun appear, they were all surprised and looked curiously at Mo Qingyun. After briefly glancing at Mo Qingyun, a middle-aged man wearing a blood-red crown asked Lan Kuei, "Who is this young master? Quickly introduce him to me." "Father, he is Mr. Mo, the one who saved me and my people in the merman's relics." Hearing her father's question, Lan Kuei was excited and introduced Mo Qingyun to everyone. Chapter 1689. My young friend, thank you for risking your life to save my daughter and the juniors of my clan. Lan Tianxiang, the patriarch of the Purple-Eyed Blood Dragon clan, stood up and bowed to Mo Qingyun to express his gratitude to Mo Qingyun. "Patriarch Lan, there's no need to be so polite." Seeing Lan Tianxiang's action, Mo Qingyun hurriedly waved his hand and said, "I know Lan Kuei and the others. Naturally, I can't just watch them be slaughtered by the King Devourer." There was no falsehood in Mo Qingyun's words. He was merely expressing his true thoughts. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lan Tianxiang and the others nodded. Their impression of Mo Qingyun improved greatly. They had only met by chance, yet Mo Qingyun was able to do this. This was really too rare. Quickly bring little friend Mo to his seat." After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lan Tianxiang gave Lan Kuei a look, indicating for her to bring Mo Qingyun to sit down. "Mr. Mo, please sit here." Seeing Lan Tianxiang's signal, Lan Kuei immediately pulled Mo Qingyun to a chair at the side and sat down. "Little friend Mo, I heard from that you're going to the Devil Wasteland domain." After Mo Qingyun sat down, Lan Tianxiang showed a curious expression and could not help but ask Mo Qingyun. "That's right." Hearing Lan Tianxiang's question, Mo Qingyun nodded and did not deny it. Mo Qingyun knew that Lan Kuei should have told him that he was from the Heavenly Soul Demon clan. Seeing Mo Qingyun nod his head, Lan Tianxiang's expression became more serious. He said in a deep voice The journey to the Devil Wasteland domain is long. Who knows how many dangers there will be on the way. It's too dangerous for you to go alone. Some things can't be avoided. Even if there's a slim chance of survival, I have to go to the Devil Wasteland domain. Mo Qingyun was unmoved by the threat in Lan Tianxiang's words. He responded with a firm expression. Seeing Mo Qingyun's attitude, Lan Tianxiang nodded approvingly. He admired Mo Qingyun's courage. After expressing his decision to Lan Tianxiang, Mo Qingyun revealed an awkward expression and said to Lan Tianxiang, "Patriarch Lan, I have a presumptuous request. I hope Patriarch Lan can fulfill my request." "Oh, what is it? Let's hear it." Lan Tianxiang was curious and gave Mo Qingyun an encouraging look, hinting for Mo Qingyun to say it directly. Mo Qingyun said, "Patriarch Lan, this rolling Thunder Devil Sea is too vast. I'm not familiar with the terrain here. Can you give me a map of the rolling Thunder Devil Sea?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lan Tianxiang immediately frowned and revealed a difficult expression. "Little friend Mo, it's not that I don't want to agree to your request, but that I don't have the map of the rolling lightning Devil Sea." "You don't have it either?" Mo Qingyun's expression was shocked. He was very surprised by this situation. "AI, you just come to the rolling Thunder Devil Sea, so you don't know the situation." Seeing Mo Qingyun's reaction, Lan Tianxiang sighed and replied, "In a rolling Thunder Devil Sea, only the 3 halls and 1 palace have a complete map of the rolling Thunder Devil Sea. Other forces don't have it." 3 halls and 1 palace? Mo Qingyun's face was filled with curiosity. He was more interested in these 4 forces. He asked, "Which 3 palaces and 1 palace are they?" "The 3 halls and 1 palace are the Demon Temple Hall, the Heavenly Chapter Hall, the Lightning Ray Hall, and the 9 Dragon Palace." Lan Tianxiang introduced the 3 halls and 1 palace. He didn't stop talking and continued to explain to Mo Qingyun, "The ancestral land of our purple-eyed blood dragon tribe is in the area under the command of the 9 Dragon Palace. It's considered a subordinate force of the 9 Dragon Palace. So it's like this." Hearing Lan Tianxiang's words, Mo Qingyun immediately had a clear understanding of the strength of the rolling Thunder Devil Sea. While Mo Qingyun revealed a look of understanding, Lan Tianxiang didn't stop talking and continued to explain the situation of the rolling Thunder Devil Sea. The 9 Dragon Palace's area of influence is in the west of the rolling Thunder Devil Sea, and the Devil Wasteland domain is in the east. Therefore, if you want to go to the Devil Wasteland domain, you must pass through the area under the command of the 3 halls. From the looks of it, passing through the rolling Thunder Devil Sea is more troublesome than I thought. After listening to Lan Tianxiang's explanation, Mo Qingyun suddenly felt a headache. He didn't think that there would be so many things. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was silent, Lan Tianxiang hesitated for a moment and said, "The relationship between the 9 Dragon Palace and the 3 halls has reached a point where they can't tolerate each other. Anyone from the 9 Dragon Palace's area will be hunted down by them. If you want to pass through the area under the influence of the 3 halls, I'm afraid it won't be an easy task." Mo Qingyun's brows were tightly knitted. He was silent and quickly pondering in his heart. If Lan Tianxiang's words were true, then all of this was really troublesome. However, although it was somewhat troublesome, he couldn't back down because of it. Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment before looking at Lan Tianxiang with a determined expression. He said, "Clan leader Lan, please give me a map of the 9 Dragon Palace's area of influence. I'll set off the 9 Dragon Palace right away." "Little friend Mo, it's not difficult to give you a map of the 9 Dragon Palace, but are you really not going to consider it?" Lan Tianxiang didn't refuse Mo Qingyun's request. He couldn't help but persuade Mo Qingyun, "With your current cultivation, it's too dangerous for you to go to the Devil Wasteland domain. Why don't you stay in my purple-eyed blood dragon clan first and leave after your cultivation has increased a little?" Hearing Lan Tianxiang's words, Lan Kuei's figure moved, and she left the main hall with Mo Qingyun. Seeing Mo Qingyun walking out of the main hall, Lan Tianxiang's expression was full of regret. He said, "What a pity." With Mo Qingyun's talent, If he could have kept our purple-eyed blood dragon tribe alive, we might have been able to escape the control of the Nine Dragon Palace one day. Yes, with Mo Qingyun's talent, it would be a pity if he was killed by the merman. I hope nothing happens to him. After all, he saved many juniors in the tribe. This path won't be easy for him. It seems like he's indeed different from others. That's right. If he makes it through, he will transform into a dragon. If he can't, sigh. Hearing Lan Tianxiang's words, everyone sighed. They were worried and anxious about Mo Qingyun. After a while, Mo Qingyun, accompanied by Lan Kuei, left the territory of the purple-eyed blood dragon tribe. Miss Lan Kuei, we have to part in the end. Let's part here. Seeing Lan Kuei sending them off, Mo Qingyun stopped her and indicated that she could go back. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lan Kuei's expression turned solemn. She nodded and said, "Be careful. If the journey to the Nine Dragon Palace isn't smooth, then come back to the purple-eyed blood dragon tribe. We'll fight the mermen together." Okay. Mo Qingyun nodded in agreement. He didn't make any promises. Mo Qingyun and Lan Kuei chatted for a while more before Mo Qingyun set off for the Nine Dragon Palace. I didn't expect that the route to the Nine Dragon Palace would require me to pass through the territory of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe. Looking at the map of the Nine Flood Dragon Palace's territory, Mo Qingyun revealed a surprised expression. A faint smile appeared on the corner of his mouth as he said, "Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe, since you dare to chase after me, then I will play with you." Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. He didn't waste any more time and immediately rushed towards the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe. With a map to guide him, Mo Qingyun's journey became much smoother. After a few hours, Mo Qingyun returned to the territory of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe with a playful smile on his face. Teleportation Gate. Hidden Gate. Standing outside the territory of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe, Mo Qingyun opened the teleportation gate and activated the power of the Light Gate Martial Spirit. Then, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and entered the territory of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe. Mo Qingyun's idea was simple. He wanted to lure the King Devourer over and let her fight with the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe. Time passed by slowly. She's here. After an unknown period of time, a sense of danger appeared again. Mo Qingyun knew that the King Devourer was here. Chapter 1690. After leaving the territory of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe, Mo Qingyun didn't go too far. Instead, he stayed where he was and observed. Under Mo Qingyun's observation, he realized that there were terrifying shockwaves from the battle in the territory of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe. If he wasn't wrong, the King Devourer must have come to the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe and was engaged in a frenzied battle. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun was completely relieved. The corners of his mouth curled up into a bright smile. His goal could be considered to have been perfectly achieved. People of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe, I hope you will like this gift. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. His figure flashed as he continued to rush towards the Nine Flood Dragon Palace. Along the way, Mo Qingyun didn't rush. Instead, he cultivated nonstop. As long as he came across a lightning pool that was strong enough, he would enter it to cultivate. He would only leave when the effects of his cultivation were minimal. In the blink of an eye, several months had passed. In the middle of a lightning pool with a diameter of 100 miles, a youth with a solemn expression sat cross-legged. This youth was naturally Mo Qingyun, who was rushing on his way. At this moment, lightning as thick as an arm continuously bombarded Mo Qingyun's body. Every time he was struck by lightning, the aura that Mo Qingyun exuded would become stronger. After an unknown amount of time, the aura that Mo Qingyun exuded finally reached its limit. His cultivation was about to break through. If one were to observe carefully, they would see that there were streaks of golden light flashing on Mo Qingyun's body. Miniature gold body, formed for me. Mo Qingyun's eyes, which had been tightly shut, suddenly opened at this moment. He controlled the power of incense to condense the miniature gold body. Soon, a terrifying power of incense rapidly gathered outside of Mo Qingyun's body. When the power of incense appeared, it quickly seeped into Mo Qingyun's body, transforming Mo Qingyun's body. While Mo Qingyun's body was being transformed, the golden light emitted from his body also became more and more dazzling. Under the cover of the golden light, Mo Qingyun gave off a solemn and dignified feeling. Boom! A terrifying aura suddenly erupted from Mo Qingyun's body, reaching a whole new level. At the same time, a dignified golden figure condensed outside Mo Qingyun's body. Success! Now that his cultivation base had broken through to the golden immortal stage, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with joy and excitement. After this period of cultivation, his cultivation had finally made a breakthrough and reached the golden immortal realm's little gold body. With the breakthrough to the little gold body level, Mo Qingyun clearly felt that his physique had become many times stronger. With my current physical strength, I can easily kill a Firefly stage powerhouse with pure physical strength. Mo Qingyun stretched his body. He had a general understanding of his current strength. With just physical strength, he could kill a Firefly stage powerhouse. Even a Tai Xian Immortal stage powerhouse could not do that. From this, it could be seen how terrifying Mo Qingyun's physical body had become after his breakthrough. More importantly, after his body had been strengthened, the greatest improvement was not in his attack power, but in his defense. If Mo Qingyun could withstand a punch from a Golden Immortal before, he could now withstand a punch from a Daluo Golden Immortal. This was an earth-shaking change. After raising his cultivation base to the little gold body level, Mo Qingyun cultivated for a while before leaving the Thunder Pool. After coming out of the Thunder Pool, Mo Qingyun did not waste any more time and continued to rush to the 9 Flood Dragon Palace. Not long after Mo Qingyun's journey, he met some underwater deity tribe. They were all in a hurry. These people were not weak. Most of them were Daluo Golden Immortals, and some were even Tai Xian Immortals. Seeing these people appear, Mo Qingyun had a curious expression on his face as he approached these people. The Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe is really unlucky to be targeted by a merman. That merman is really strong. I'm afraid he is at the second step of the Tai Xian Immortal stage. I think it's not just that. He might be at the third step of the Tai Xian Immortal stage. The Palace Masters of the 9 Flood Dragon Palace seem to be at the third step of the Tai Xian Immortal stage. No wonder the 9 Palace Masters gathered us immediately after hearing about the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe. Mo Qingyun heard the voices of the people around him. The Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe was almost exterminated. After hearing these people's words, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He was very surprised by this result. Immediately, Mo Qingyun's expression turned solemn. He could not help but sigh. It seems that I still underestimated the King Devourer's strength. This guy is far more terrifying than I thought. Although the King Devourer is troublesome, it's a good thing that he got rid of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe. Thinking about the fate of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe, Mo Qingyun revealed a bright smile. He was very satisfied with this result. At this time, the few people's conversation entered Mo Qingyun's ears again. The impact of the merman is too great. It has already attracted the attention of the 9 Palace Masters. Needless to say, we are now at war with the 3 palaces. Suddenly, a powerful merman appeared. Of course, it's a headache. I wonder what the 9 great Palace Masters want to instruct us for by summoning us. What else can they have for us? They just want us to send people to continue fighting with the 3 palaces. The more he listened to the conversation, the more solemn Mo Qingyun's expression became. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Baofeng was so angry that his body trembled. His face was even uglier than the bottom of a pot. The annihilation of the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe was the most unacceptable thing. Mo Qingyun's words were simply rubbing salt on his wound. Oh, I almost forgot. You don't have the chance to think about it anymore. Mo Qingyun ignored Baofeng's roar and continued speaking unhurriedly. His body emitted a murderous aura. Sensing Mo Qingyun's murderous aura, Bao Feng's expression suddenly changed. He said with a surprised expression, "Looking at your posture, it seems like you still want to make a move on me. Why can't I?" Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He was a little surprised by Bao Feng's reaction. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Bao Feng showed a disdainful expression. He said with a self-righteous attitude, "Brat, although your cultivation base has recently broken through, I'm afraid you're still not our match with just your little gold clone. You should know that the gap between the Golden Immortal stage and the Daluo Golden Immortal stage is huge. That's for you guys. It's all the same to me." Upon hearing Bao Feng's words, Mo Qingyun shook his head and charged towards Bao Feng. Upon seeing Mo Qingyun charging towards him, Bao Feng's face immediately turned ugly. He ordered the people beside him, "All of you, attack immediately. If anyone kills this brat, I'll see my uncle later and ask him to promote him." "Yes, young Master Bao Feng." Upon hearing Bao Feng's words, everyone immediately moved and charged towards Mo Qingyun. Good timing. Looking at the people charging towards him, Mo Qingyun's face revealed an excited expression. A burst of battle intent erupted from his body. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and charged toward the person in the firefly stage. He threw out a punch in a violent manner. When Mo Qingyun threw out this punch, he did not use his immortal spiritual power. It was just a simple punch. He wanted to see just how strong his physical body was. "Brat, don't look down on others." Seeing that Mo Qingyun did not even use his immortal spiritual power, this person immediately shouted angrily, as if he had been humiliated. It was a method of fighting with his life on the line. There was nothing he could do about it. After all, the strongest among them was only at the soul formation stage. These people couldn't even break through his defense. What was there for him to be afraid of? Under Mo Qingyun's continuous attacks, the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe's Daluo Golden Immortal experts were killed one by one. After about 15 minutes, there was only one person left among the Iron Dragon Blood Shrimp tribe's experts. This person was the Spirit Severing Stage cultivator. The reason he could survive wasn't because his cultivation was the strongest, but because Mo Qingyun had done it on purpose. Mo Qingyun wanted to test the offensive power of his physical body through his hands. He wanted to see what level his physical body had reached. "You're the only one left." Looking at the person in front of him, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. Then, his figure moved and charged toward the other party. Seeing Mo Qingyun attacking him, this person didn't dare to be careless and immediately counterattacked. Bang! 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 Mo Qingyun and Qin Wentian continued to collide with each other, creating a series of earth-shattering sounds and creating a storm of spiritual energy. As he continued to exchange blows with the other party, Mo Qingyun had a clear understanding of his own attack power. With his current physical attack power, he could easily kill people at the soul formation stage. Against soul refinement stage cultivators, he could crush them and kill them in a violent manner. As for people at the soul formation stage, it would take some effort. He had to slowly grind them to death. What kind of freak is this kid? His physical body is so terrifying. After fighting with Mo Qingyun for hundreds of times, this person's face was filled with horror. He had a strong fear of Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun was really too strange. His cultivation was only at the Golden Immortal stage, but his strength was so strong that it was abnormal. More importantly, it didn't matter if it was a soul attack or a physical attack. Mo Qingyun was immune to it. In this way, how could he continue to fight? Run. Thinking of this person immediately made a decision. He didn't want to continue fighting. He knew very well that if he continued to fight, he really wouldn't be able to leave. After fighting with Mo Qingyun for a while, his injuries became more and more serious. He was about to reach the limit of what he could endure. "Bao Yin, don't leave me." Seeing that the person was about to escape, Bao Feng panicked and hurriedly begged Bao Yun. He knew very well that if Bao Yun escaped, he would really be dead. Unfortunately, Bao Yun turned a deaf ear to his pleas. In Bao Yun's opinion, he couldn't even protect himself, so how could he care about Bao Feng? Want to escape? Seeing that Bao Yun was about to escape, Mo Qingyun sneered and immediately chased after Bao Yun. After resolving A.O. Li's crisis, Mo Qingyun was unwilling to stay any longer and flew away. In a short while, Mo Qingyun had left Feng Si in the dust, widening the distance between them. Mo Qingyun's thoughts were simple. Since he couldn't take down Feng Si, there was no point in continuing the battle. More importantly, he was afraid that a long battle would bring more trouble and attract other people from the Nine Flood Dragon Palace. Just dealing with Feng Si was already difficult enough. If there were a few more people, the situation would become even worse. Brat, what do you think you're running? Seeing that Mo Qingyun was preparing to escape, Feng Si's face sank, and he chased after Mo Qingyun. While Feng Si was chasing after Mo Qingyun, his heart was filled with shock, and he exclaimed, "What kind of freak is this brat? He's only in the golden immortal realm, but his speed is so fast." Looking at Feng Si, who was chasing after him, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile, but he wasn't in a hurry to shake him off. In Mo Qingyun's view, Feng Si had been following him, and he would eventually have a chance to take him down. In the battle with Feng Si just now, although my defensive power was enough, my offensive power is still far from enough. Mo Qingyun thought as he fled, summarizing the battle just now and finding his shortcomings. Mo Qingyun pondered for a while. Then he revealed a helpless expression. In the end, my cultivation is still too low. If I was a golden immortal, it wouldn't be difficult for me to kill Feng Si. I can't let him chase me like this. I won't have a chance to improve my strength. After leading Feng Si for a while, Mo Qingyun had a new plan. He didn't want to be entangled with Feng Si anymore. Currently, the most important thing for him was to improve his cultivation. With that thought, Mo Qingyun increased his flying speed, preparing to shake Feng Si off. He still had some strength left when he was flying just now. Seeing Mo Qingyun's speed increase, Feng Si's expression was shocked. He was shocked by the situation. In his view, Mo Qingyun's flying speed was on par with his. It was already very monstrous. In the end, Mo Qingyun still had strength left. It was too unbelievable. However, although Mo Qingyun increased his speed, he still couldn't shake Feng Si off. This still won't do. I have to think of a way to shake him off quickly. Seeing that Feng Si was still chasing closely, Mo Qingyun's brows furrowed tightly, his mind quickly thinking. Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment. Then his eyes lit up. He immediately had an idea. That's right, I can use the lightning pool to shake this guy off. With that thought, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately flew out from the bottom of the sea. Mo Qingyun flew out from the bottom of the sea. He directly flew towards a lightning pool, preparing to use it to obstruct Feng Si. He actually flew to the surface of the sea,